Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Hallelujah. Abba Yahweh, we told you for this 7-day Shabbat, told us for you waking us up for another day. We told you for giving us breath of life. Abba Yahweh, we told you for sound mind. We told you for even your Ruach HaKodesh that you placed within these vessels. Abba Yahweh, continue to look over Israel this very hour, those that are down sick, those that might be down spiritually. Abba Yahweh, heal us all, heal us spiritually, mentally, and physically. Abba Yahweh, have it so that your people always trust and rely on you every step of the way and always know that you are able to bring us out of whatever we're going through, any trials, tribulations we may have to go through this very hour or in times to come. And Abba Yahweh, have it so that Yisrael know that we can always come to you when we are in need. We can come to you and get an answer. And Abba Yahweh, have it so when you do answer our prayers and bring us out, whatever we're going through, have it that we can lift up our voice and be able to praise you and give you all the honor. Abba Yahweh, continue to look at us in these last days and strengthen these vessels. Give us a mind to want to do the will of you at all times and not worry and not rely on the world, but to continue to walk this straight and narrow path that leads to salvation. So at the end of our days, we may be able to see your face in peace and be able to walk into your kingdom to come and be glad that we strive the way we did this very hour to make it in. Abba Yahweh, have that our conduct and everything we do in this lifetime be acceptable upon you. So at the end of our days, we may hear your voice say, well done, my tough and faithful servants. And Abba Yahweh, continue to be with us in this way as we walk this way, straight and narrow path, and continue to be with us every step of the way and have that light to shine upon us so we know how to walk in this way of life and how to talk and how to do all things in this way. And Baruch the hands of your people, all the things that we do in your name, so all the things that we may do may prosper. And Abba Yahweh continue to be with the children, the elderly in this world, and all in between. And protect us from all hurt, harm, and danger, all violence going on in the world this very hour, all even sicknesses, diseases, illnesses that might be in the air, in the water, in the food. Protect us from all things, Yahweh, and protect us from Satan, the devil, that comes at us night and day to try to get us to go off the path. Have it so that Yisrael be strengthened in such a way that we do not fall, we do not go to the right or to the left, but we continue to stay in that path that leads to salvation and be confident knowing that if we continue to do this to the end of our days, we will see salvation. And Abba Yahweh, continue to look upon our enemies, continue to look upon those that hate us, that try night and day to bring us down. Abba Yahweh, look upon them and give them their due reward. Give them everything that they wish upon Yisrael, give it straight back to them so they know how to feel the pain and suffering, even that your son, Yahshua HaMashiach, went through. And Abba Yahweh, to the end of the days, have it that the whole world know that you alone had all power. You are the great I am. And those that want to receive salvation and make it in, Abba Yahweh, have it so that all their eyes are open to this way of life so they may be able to strive and get it right before you and enter in. In Yahshua HaMashiach's name we pray. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. House of Israel, you may be seated. Shabbat Shalom, House of Israel. And I say Shabbat Shalom, all that tuning in on the live stream. Today, I'd like to read from the book of Tehillim. This is Psalms 100. Psalms 100 says, make a joyful shout to Yahweh, all you lands. Hallelujah. Serve Yahweh with gladness. Come before his presence with singing. Know that Yahweh, he is our Elohim. It is he who has made us and not we ourselves. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving and to his courts with praise. Be thankful to him and Baruch his Kodesh name. For Yahweh is Tov, and his Hasi or mercy is everlasting, and his truth endures to all generations. Hallelujah. Short but sweet, right? Get right to the point. Yahweh is so tough. Yahweh is so awesome. The least we can do is come before him, serve him, give him all the praise, right, Yisrael? So each and every day of your lives that Yahweh wakes you up to see another day, give him that praise, give him that honor, because it is only by him that we are able to do what we do. Hallelujah. This time, I'd like to turn the service over to Zarkane Nawi Yaganhan Sr. We want to receive him by giving Yahweh the highest form of praise by saying, Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Shabbat Shalom, Yisrael. Hallelujah. We give Almighty Yahweh all the honor and the praise. Name unto his son, Yahshua HaMashiach, a name that is given, that is above every name. Isn't that so beautiful? We do total Yah for the precious gift of life, our health and strength. We thank Yahweh for, even in the midst of our trials, the activity of our limbs. In the most amazing aspects of life, it is the simplicity of the actual breath of life in which we do praise Yahweh. If you've ever sat and studied how the body functions, you can't help but think on Yahweh and give him all the praise, how we can just inhale, exhale, and something to that effect keeps us alive. So in that we rejoice, and we thank Yahweh that it was his doing, it was his thoughts and his ways that gave life unto us all. And in that manner, that is really and truly, Todia, my precious eye. In that manner, that is truly an honor. Think on this. Is there snow? Is it snowing? Okay. Hey, don't let me upset y'all. Anyway, and get back to what I was saying. In that honor, it is really noteworthy to be alive, to thank Yahweh that you are alive, even to notice the snow, to see the elements, all the things that Yahweh has granted unto us as Yisrael. Life is truly so beautiful. Let me see if I can make this today so plain. I watch people do something that I find fascinating. Yahweh said in the wisdom of Sirach that all that he commanded man to do was right within his grasp. Everything you're supposed to do is right within your reach. So this way of life is not hard. This is something that has to be taught, stressed, re-stressed, and reiterated to our children unto 1,000 generations. These things are the secrets to life. I'm reading up on how Yahweh let the nations gather all the wealth, the power, and the honor unto themselves. And then he said, in the day that I take it from you, you won't even know that I took it. But yet he's granted unto us the precious gift of life, so that every time we utter the mere word hallelujah, it is the height of happiness, giving praise unto the one who thought all things through. Your heart beats because he thought that it was necessary to make that heart beat, to flow that blood through. You inhale and exhale because he thought it necessary that you breathe the initial breath of life that he put into you from the very beginning. Little things like that are the things that I'm learning we as a people don't appreciate. And this is why Shabbat observation becomes so difficult for Yisrael all too often. And then it's so easy to sin and do your own thing or ignore Yahweh altogether. And then for some strange reason or another, your heart keep beating, pumping that same blood that I just talked about. You keep right on inhaling that same breath of life that I just talked about. You are able to look at all the elements and enjoy everything in life. You know, the world is a very strange place. And without Yahweh, you'll come into this world and go out trying to figure it out. And you'll never get a chance to know it. In his final days on earth, Teddy Pendergrass did something. And I know a lot of people say, why are he always mentioning R&B music, this, that? Because you as a people, you all over the world crying and pouring out your heart and soul to the Most High, sometimes looking in directions that are pointing towards him, and yet we don't know it. In fact, write this down. So confused, they'll seek direction while going the right way. Can you imagine that? You so lost. You asking how to get to New York. You already on 95 North, headed that way. But yet you so confused, you don't know the way, and you don't know that you're going the right way. And yet, guess what? Still need direction. So this is where Yisrael is today. Let me get back to this initial point. Teddy Pendergrass, skip all the R&B, jumping around and singing, throw your panties on the stage, all that stuff. Skip all that. One of the most interesting things he did, very few people knew this. He wrote and sang a song called This Gift of Life. And you got to really hear him sing it. You got to really listen to what he was saying, because these was his last days, when he realized he was about to leave this earth. And the depth of spirit that was within him led him to write something so beautiful, so profound, that you would say, man, you would think this was somebody that kept the Torah all the days of their life and had developed a relationship where they had come to know Yahweh so well that even when it came down to dying, that he didn't mind. Because that's how intense the song was. Less than 4 minutes. But it was just that intense. You get a chance, just listen to it. It ain't nothing going to make you jam. You ain't going to be all over the floor. All that. I guarantee you ain't going to do that. But it might even make you cry. As Yisrael, you should love Yahweh so much. Watch this real quick. How many people have ever been in love? Y'all put them hands up reluctantly, boy. They was like, that's just how y'all did it, y'all. Anyway, whatever the feeling is, was that. You got to come to feel that with Yahweh. In your best days, in your worst days, in your up times or your down times, you got to really come to know how to thank Yahweh for the gift of life. And when I'm saying that, I'm saying it in the midst of things that you don't have time to think about, especially when you are up under some of the pressures or the stressors of life. Watch this real quick. Men in the room over the age of 50. Let me see your hands real quick. Put mine up as well. Okay. Now, there's a verse in here I want to get to later. I'll show you how Yahweh said, even for a sign, for the collapse of a specific society, there will be so much pressure on the older men that it will be for a sign that this thing is about to collapse. Let me say that again real slow. I'll get to a verse in here that shows where Yahweh said he will put so much pressure on the older men. Now remember, let's walk through this since I'm on the point. Let's walk through this. The scripture tells us that there came a point in time in Yisrael where the faces of the elders were not honored. We're in that time now. An old man can't say nothing to the young men worth nothing because they, for some reason, no, we don't know nothing. Young people, I would love to see whichever young person it is that sits down and writes this book on why there is an importance to ignore older people, because clearly they got it figured out. But at any rate, the faces of the elders were not honored. But Yahweh says something to a specific nation that when I allow you to put so much pressure on the old people, the old men in particular, that it will be the sign of a collapse. But if older men can't tell you nothing now while you're young, you in trouble when you get to that age, if you make the age of those old men, because you don't know nothing. That make any sense? See, that's the kind of trouble we get in as Yisrael. Let's go straight into this lesson. I'm going to walk through this. Every now and then, I have the notes put together the way Yahweh leads me, and then I move around and I maneuver. I'm going to strive up here today to obey the Ruach HaKodesh and go in the specific order that I have these scriptures. That way, at the end of this message, you, as Yisrael, should understand this as thoroughly as I understand it. I'm going to take my time and teach this. Does that make sense? I'm going to take my time. Sometimes I'll sit down. Sometimes I'll stand up. Sometimes I might fan or move away from the heat, whatever. I lose. You know, said Daddy, start cooling down. Whew. At any rate, let's go to Jeremiah chapter 50. I didn't think I'd have to bring this up, but this fits in and this is relevant. There was a scenario here in Baltimore. In any city, wherever the children of Yisrael are, and this is not a slur or slander either, but after a while, I mean, I don't know how old the videos are, but I get tired of seeing the Hebrews just marching through the damn street. I'm straight up. I don't know if it's the same video and it just keeps resurfacing, or we keep having meetings where we put on purple and just march and chant like we're the military. And I always try to watch it when I see it because I want to know, okay, at the end of the video, where y'all go? What did you do? Did you, everybody go to their separate cars and drive home? This one got to work he got to do the 4 to 12 shift. This one going back to the house. What happens? Because we have nothing as Yisrael. And to get us all organized just to march so that the world can see us makes no sense to me. They can see you. Watch this. Bro, what color is your shirt? See how you hit name all them colors? Perfect shirt because it gives detail. Us as a people, you say, all right, brothers, where y'all marching? Where you going? What you doing after this? What are the details? Nothing. We as a people are so easily misled. And I mean, we can be misled by the spirit of demons in a New York heartbeat. This is how dangerous the age is. I do that broadcast on Thursdays, and I never paid any attention to this, but this little preacher down there, and anybody listen Thursday, I don't even give a damn. Y'all heard me go in on them. I'm sick of them. One this tall, one this big. And look like, only thing I can think of, I spit it out. They remind me of Rocky and Bullwinkle. So I spit that out on the air because there's a level of disdain for a man of Yahweh that is just so profound. We really don't care, but some of us, like King David, have to wield the sword because we don't have security like others. We got to wield it ourselves, which means when we have to stand up against wickedness, then if Yahweh say lay it down, you got to lay it down. That's why I don't have no chumps around me. I don't believe in, if a man is weak, certain things got to happen or whatever it is, do me a favor. Run to the store, get a soda. You get rid of him quick because that fear will get you destroyed. And I bring this out because in every city in this age, wherever Yahweh has people now, we should be known well enough where people move at the sound of our voice because they can trust our judgment in Yahshua. That makes sense? They should be able to trust the judgment of Yisrael to a point and a degree where when we speak to them, they know how to move in an organized manner that gets the job done. But because we don't know the direction, people can come right behind you and undo everything. I've seen that take place in this assembly a couple times. I had to go straight at the person that was doing that. As soon as the service was over, he would start teaching his stuff and confusing and messing people up. I watched it, and brother brought it to my attention. I left Thursday, left the studio, and I turned it on. I don't usually listen to them. Brother Renato had texted me one day because he was infuriated with what he heard as they come in behind me. And they were going in hot and heavy this Thursday, trying to dispute everything that I said. Those Rocky Bullwinkle and Natasha, I think it is. I don't know if y'all remember the cartoon. Natasha had the little black wig down to. You all got to see this little lady. She is at least 60, 65. She coming in the same way. Wig, black hair, blacker than Naomi. Not a gray in sight. Anyway, gray hair is an honorable thing upon the head of the righteous. That's what Yahweh's word says. So we ain't got to be buying no fancy dyes and trying to cover up and look young. Got to wear all these super fine, expensive clothes, big cars to prove to people that the Lord is with us. I don't want the Lord with me. Yahweh is with us. We don't have to flaunt or brag on that. We know that Yahweh is with us. It's just that every now and then you got to go at the devil's children and let them know we bear the sword of Yahweh and we ain't come to play. So I listened as they were doing it, and I never really paid attention to the man. The most effeminate male voice that I've ever heard on the radio, saying he's a preacher. I almost turned the truck around, went on, just ran straight through the studio like the people do at the Walmart. Anyway, I listened to this because our people are so misguided as well as afraid that when anybody come along talking, just like Shaitan did in that garden, after Yahweh said everything and laid here comes Shaitan out of nowhere talking. And we learn through scripture and through the way that Yahweh has dealt with us as a people. Yahweh always speaks first. Shaitan come along second and tries his best to undo. I want to show you all a pattern in the scripture where if we would just really humble ourselves, seek Yahweh, there's nothing great and grand. I watch people try to deal with the highest levels of information to appear wise or to appear smart or to look smart. Best example I can give y'all, Super Bowl Sunday. What the hell did Kendrick Lamar say? That now everybody free. See, I mean, people were going at me hot and heavy trying to convince me there was a message. Okay, well, I had the Wall Street Journal weekend edition. I had the New York Times weekend edition. There was a message in that. It was for white folk. But they didn't have to say they not like us. But you're right, they not like us. You know why they not like us? They free. They run everything. They not afraid of you. They don't respect you because they know you ain't going to do nothing. So it's true. They not like us. Who didn't figure that out? So you had to rap and sing and stomp and do all this on the stage. Man, it's even white people on social media explaining it, breaking it down. He gave a profound message. He said, I was like, well, damn, what did he say that Isaiah didn't say? What did he say that Jeremiah missed? What did he say that Yahshua himself forgot to tell us? And everybody that's not like them got their ass right back up Monday morning and went to work. Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 4. You got to hear what thus saith Yahweh. Don't listen to me. Listen to what thus saith Yahweh. Let's read it out of his word, right? In those days and in that time, saith Yahweh, the children of Yisrael shall come, they and the children of Yahudah together, going and weeping. They shall go and seek Yahweh their Elohim. They shall ask the way towards Zion with their faces towards it, saying, come, let us join ourselves to Yahweh in a perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten. Damn, there you have it. Go in the right direction. Not knowing it, but look at the verse close. Broke down, weeping, mourning, unified, going to seek Yahweh their Elohim, right? Asking direction, but yet going in the right direction. Isn't that deep? Sitting right there where he got, they not like us, they not like us, they not, man, sit. Never mind. Anyway, I'll say it, then somebody, oh, yeah, you go with that word again. How is it we get tender ears when the messengers say something unconventional? But the white man can say it every day, and y'all be like, you don't even move. We're a sad people. We are a sad people. I'm watching the development in Yahweh's word on the world stage. This is the most interesting time to be alive. Picture, if you will, let's do it this way. This is probably the funniest thing going. Picture, if you will, a couple, rich or poor, it doesn't matter. Picture, if you will, one hiding money, hiding all the resources, just stashing everything, just got it stashed, just stacked away, just put it up while pretending to be poor and not having anything. While another's in need and watching the one scramble and struggle, and you got all the resources, but you won't help, and this is your spouse. See, this is America. This is the latter day. This is the funniest thing going. People in this earth cannot be saved without Yahshua. And then people in this earth cannot be saved before Yisrael, specifically the tents of Yahudah first. You get it? So now all the resources held in check, commanded and controlled by the white people. Hegseth, Trump, Tulsi Gabbards, others, all the resources. But now all these little hillbillies come up out the woods, mad, scratching and clawing because they know the beast is ready to throw his system down at any given time, and they don't want to be enslaved like we were. But they figured out Jesus ain't the way. It's all about Yahshua. They can't go in before you do, but they got all the resources and the knowledge of him. But they won't share it with you because they think, like that spouse that's hiding all the wealth and won't help their spouse pay any bill or do anything, they think we'll give them a little bit, but we'll hold all this for ourselves and we'll make it. That's what you're looking at right now in America. Only problem, can't make us see it because you got this thing standing in the way called the Black Democrat. The Black Democrat. They want all the DEI. They want all the gay and lesbian rights. I have never seen a people so foolish. I can't even get an analogy together to describe it. Let me get one real quick. That's like you being held hostage, and they got the sword at your throat. They get ready to cut your head off. And you got a relative kick the door down, and they got the guns pointed at them. Drop the knife, do this, do that. And you hooting and hollering and mad, arguing with the one that's got the gun pointed at the one that's got the knife, getting ready to cut your throat because you'd rather have your throat cut than to be saved. How's that? That's where we at in America. Salvation is coming. And the beauty of it, it ain't even creeping up on us no more. It's straight walking down on us now. Salvation is walking towards us, and we tipping the way backward. We ain't even got enough sense to turn around and run from it. We running the way backward from our salvation, which is marching towards us. I've never seen such foolishness in all my days. That's where we at now. I've always thanked Yahweh for one thing. Now I got to add another thing for the list. There are many things I thank Yahweh for, but certain things were primary in the ignition switch for whatever it is you all get here each Shabbat. I always thank Yahweh for high level unemployment. The reason why I say it, because when I ain't had no job, I had to pray extra hard. I had to dig in. I had to focus. I had to really pray and read the scriptures and study the word and learn it so well and come to a point where I trusted in Yahweh. I ain't had no job, but I had to trust him, and he made a way for me. And I thanked him for high level unemployment just because of that, because it shaped and molded my understanding and my relationship with Yahweh. But now I thank him even more for loneliness. Let me explain what I mean. Because see, in Yisrael, you meet Israelites all over the place now, but they will learn this lesson the way you and I and anybody else that's real or sincere must learn this lesson also. When you get sincere, I ain't talking fronting, pretending, I'm talking when you really get so sincere in Yahweh where nothing else in your life matters. When you get so sincere, you learn what true loneliness really is. Because see, sometimes the problems, the trials and the tribulations that hit, the pressure that gets upon you is so deep and or so intense, sometimes even those that are closest to you, you might not be able to talk to them about it. You can only talk to Yahshua. You understand what I'm saying? We will forsake each other. We will cast each other off. We will go through things. I went through something yesterday. This was funny. Let's put this out as well. There's a brother in Baltimore City. I'm gonna say it anyway, don't matter. Certain things at a certain age as a man, you beyond being a punk crying over certain stuff. You just get up and keep on moving. But anyway, certain young man in Baltimore City, I got wind that he thought I didn't like him and wanted to hurt him and all this other stupid stuff anyway. So he been kind of stressed out about that for a while, and the elders been trying to get us together to get us to talk and iron out whatever differences we supposed to have. I just travel in the strength of Yahshua and don't worry about a lot of people. But at any rate, I told another Hebrew brother, we talk on social media a lot. I said, one of these days when I get a chance, I'm going to stop over that barbershop. I'm going to come see you. We're going to meet each other face to face. I like the brother, young. Anyway, I like the brother. So yesterday I stopped over there. I had some spare time. I was headed to the house. I said, you know what? Skirt. Pull over, jumped out, unannounced, just run in the barbershop, greet the brother. I keep telling people, I'm a man. I go anywhere I want to go, with or without somebody. I don't need no bodyguard. Yahshua has his guards with me. So I run in, I meet the brother, walk up on him. I get real close, about as close as I am to this speaker, before he realizes who I am. See, again, awareness. I keep telling y'all, situation away. You got to pay attention. So he didn't know who I was until I said shalom. Then he looked real good. Brother Johnson, Anyway, how you doing? Yeah, you come to see something? Nope. I came to see you. Told you that one day we'd meet face to face. I'm making good on my word. Oh, yeah, so-and-so got a problem with you. Man, he's scared. He kind of think you this, that, and other. I need you to go upstairs and talk to him. And I said, hey, I came to see you. I wasn't really worried about the brother up there. I care less. But out of respect, as a man, the brother that I really went to go talk to say something, you shooing me into the arms of another. So I go upstairs, I talk to the brother, and we talking. He's brokenhearted, he's hurt, his mother passed away. I didn't go to the funeral, all these other things, and all this other stuff. I explained to him I'm working. I have a real busy schedule like everybody else. We need to understand as men, we ain't gonna go to each other's funerals. We ain't gonna always be there crying. All I said, in fact, you and I, one of us ain't gonna make the other's funeral. Just face that reality. See, when I speak, sometimes it's just so straight to the point, it offends people. But it's true. And I told him, I said, brother, if I go before you, don't expect me to sit up and say, hey, brother, thank you for coming out, man. I appreciate you being here. And I'll lay back and go sleep. And he looked as if he was shocked that I said it that way. I didn't know no other way to say it. Anyway, we talked and we ironed out whatever the so-called difference was. He's mad about his mother's funeral. He looked around. He didn't see me, as if I come there, she going to get back up. I'm dead serious. I said that. But I reminded him, I met you in 1992. And from 92 to 98, I had my father with me. I was invited to their organization on many occasions. I spoke on many different issues. Elder Johnson was right there, a giant in the community. They walked all around him. They disrespected him. They didn't talk to him, made him pay for his food at a couple of little events, different things. They did not honor this little elder. Did not honor him. And when he passed away, they were not around. They didn't care. They didn't run. They didn't give a damn or what have you. And I didn't cry because I didn't see this one or that one come out and honor the old man. It made no difference to me. Yahweh honored him. And when I reminded him of that, he acted as if he didn't know. Then I brought him up to date and I let him know I had family members. At one point in time, we lost 3 family members back to back so close that we were in pain here. Nobody really knew the pain that we were suffering, losing family members like that. We kept moving because it's a natural part of life. But when I reminded that brother that I had a brother that passed away during COVID, things were so hot and heavy, we didn't even get his body back. The state just kept him. Just a letter, death certificate, kept him, no nothing. We didn't get bent out of shape. Things happen in life that are just so sad, so shocking and appalling that we have no power over it. But I was explaining to that brother that because of the Baltimore Black think tank that has worked so close in conjunction with the House of Yisrael here, I can honestly say they have worked at a better level of unification than most of the Hebrew Israelites I know anywhere in the country. These are men that are probably home now watching and listening and have worked so close as we have sought to bring a whole city together in a certain level of knowledge and understanding in the name of Yahweh and Yahshua. These are men you all very seldom see, but yet they know you. And as we work to bring these things together, I was explaining to the young brother, you all got to know the voice of the devil. Because every time we get everything together where we appear to have the whole city coming together on one accord, there's always those 1 or 2 voices that speak so evil, so vehemently, so viciously against what it is that we're trying to do according to the word of Yahweh, that it always comes down to damn near having a fist fight these brothers right in the street. That's the type of spirit you up against. And that don't make you feel good. When you know you got to stop and smack one who ain't acting right in the middle of the lineup or in the middle of the formation. Watch when we get to Yisrael's lineup and their formation. Watch how when we were going in the right direction, one saw one that wasn't in line, didn't recognize it. Watch how we get to the different things that took place. I'm going to walk you through scripture today, and I'm going to show you a pattern of behavior that Yisrael should continuously recognize. What patterns of behavior do we know of in life that are guaranteed? Your daddy did it, your mama did it, your grand. Give me some patterns. What are some simple patterns in life that you know you could recognize anywhere on the planet? Anybody got any clues? Nope, I'm going to rule that out. Smoking, I'm going to rule that out. Give me something else, simple patterns that you should recognize anywhere in the world. Nope, I'm going to rule that out. And you know what's interesting about this? Because I just stood here and named them, and you all forgot just that fast. Simple pattern. Your great-granddaddy had to breathe Yahweh's air every day of his life, just like you do. Your mama had to walk every day of her life, just like you do. Unless, of course, she became handicapped or something, but that still didn't stop her from breathing. Still didn't stop her heart from beating. Still didn't stop her from thinking. Still didn't stop her from having an opportunity to praise Yahweh. We all got that same opportunity. Am I making sense? See, the alcoholism, the smoking, the Sunday worship, those things are nominal choices. That's why I said we can eliminate that. But certain stuff, you can recognize it. Stop and look around the room real quick. Anybody. Point out somebody right now that ain't breathing. Got you. Y'all should know me by now. You should know me. Let me finish. Point out somebody that ain't breathing. Point one out right now whose heart ain't beating. Your heart beat? Yes. These are things you should recognize. Okay, when we get a little deeper, after a while, the pattern of behavior in Israel becomes so repetitive. You should be able to recognize when we're doing the good things that our fathers did or when we're doing the bad things that our fathers did. Watch this. They shall ask the way towards Zion. This is Jeremiah 50 and verse 5. With their faces towards it, saying, come, let us join ourselves together in a perpetual covenant unto Yahweh that shall not be forgotten. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They've gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. Now, see, them people come on the radio behind me, they bishops and all this other stuff. Rocky and Bullwinkle, Rocky, this little dude, he had I call him Rocky, he had a fur coat on one day. I was doing the broadcast and I was closing out my last 2-3 minutes and I saw something out the corner of my eye and I jumped and looked. I thought a squirrel had got in the studio. But he did, had this big squirrel fur coat on and hat, everything matching. You couldn't see nothing but his fingers. And how big the coat was, it was down to the ground, just about that far off his shoe. He think he dressed to the 9s or to the 8s or whatever. These type of men are what Yahweh is addressing here, even among Yisrael. He said, our shepherds have caused them to go astray. They've turned them away on the mountain. See, when you're preaching, you keep leading the people to the government. Keep teaching the people to vote. Keep talking about voters' rights and legislation and all of this stuff, as opposed to guiding the people back to keeping Yahweh's law. See, there's no breaking of a law in keeping Yahweh's law. You can keep Yahweh's law and never pay the law of the land, no mind the voting rights and all this. What are some rights you got in this society? You got the right to bear arms. I don't know if that means the right to have a gun or the right to pull your sleeves up and show your bare arms. I don't know. Either way, we can take either pick. But you got rights. Am I correct? Now, in keeping the Torah, I ain't got to push you towards the government to lean on them, and we should lean on Yahweh. I'm going to show you later where Yahweh said, I blessed Yisrael so tremendously among the nations, even in their captivity. They did not know that I gave them their grain, their oil, and their wine. I blessed them so well. They did not know I did it. So you didn't have to be pointed toward the government. People need government assistance and things of that nature. That's a different story, and we understand it. But when your leadership is teaching you to wholly lean upon government, that's wrong. We must lean exclusively on Yahweh. That makes sense? Yes. See, this is how you have to spot them. This is why I was like, you know what? I'm going to take the gloves off on Thursday. I'm going to beat the hell out of them people that come behind me so bad. I'm tired of it. That if you step up and say one word, I give you my word in Yahshua, I'm going to drop you. Because I'm fed up now. This is a spirit that's so evil, it intends to block everything that Yahweh baruch me to get the people to understand. Sometimes I put the Torah aside to talk on social issues, to get us as Yahweh's people to see you can find all the social conditions that you see us going through every day. I was looking in the footnotes, and they were talking about how Yisrael had gotten so distraught, so perplexed that they allowed any and everything to happen. They took Yisrael and taught them how to organize sex cults. But in the footnote, they were describing how the sex cults even operated. And I said to myself, damn, that's today. That's your sorors and your frat bros with the way they function and all of this stuff now. I'm telling you all, we are under the gun when it comes to keeping the Torah of Yahweh, and we play so much. That's why a lot of times you look up and realize you ain't got no friends. And you really do have to do the work in Yahweh so that the pressure comes, and some don't know how to handle the pressure as well as others do, and they fall out and faint in the midst of it. All that found them, verse 7. Pardon me, let me back up. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountain. This is meaning the government. They taught them to lean on government. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. Is not Yahweh our resting place? All that found them have devoured them. All this stuff that came out now, DEI and all this other stupid stuff, all the nations found where laws went on the book that looked like they were supposed to benefit you, but they never were. Other nations came in, latched onto it, and devoured you in the process of gaining things that they claim were set up for you anyway. So now all that have found them have devoured them. And their adversary said, we offend not, because they have sinned against Yahweh, the habitation of justice. Even Yahweh, the hope of their fathers. That's what the nation, that's why they keep running over us. They say, well, look, we just getting our fair share too. We ain't sinned. They sinned against the Most High. Well, then why y'all don't tell us? Once y'all turn back to Yahweh, he'll bless all of y'all. And as he bless you all for what you do, we'll treat you right and be fair, and we'll get a blessing too. That is what the book says. I will bless them and curse them. And in you, y'all said that like y'all scared. Let me quote it myself. Okay, here we go. He says, I will bless them that bless you, and I will curse them that curse you. And in you shall all the families of the earth be blessed. Some people blessed because they just in your presence. Now, this ain't cause for you to run out the door and brag. You go home all of a sudden now, shut the door. Hey, watch this. Hey, mama, I'm a blessing. Boop. See, now you blessed. Cut that crap out. We mean you are living so well that people honor you in the way that you're living. They admire you. They respect you. So much so that they are commanded by the Ruach's presence to treat you right. And as a result of that admiration and that respect, Yahweh blesses them too. You got it? This is what Yisrael has to come to understand. We cannot walk in the power of arrogance in the latter days with all that we got going on. I'm going to show you how Yisrael was messing up. They were sinning so bad. Imagine all of us every day, you living, however you living, you keeping the commandment, you doing everything you can, right? One thing missing. Ain't nobody got the Torah. But we living, we doing whatever we doing. And one day, y'all come in to clean the temple, do whatever you do, what have you, and Minister Taylor, Minister Johnson go downstairs. And they come up with this, the Torah. They done found the only copy in Yahweh's house. And I'm the king. No, one of you are the king. But you love Yahweh so much, so you're so fascinated that they found the book. And immediately, as the king, you command the priests, go to Yahweh and make intercession. Beg and plead that Yahweh, now that we realize we have it, that we can do it, ask Yahweh to bless us as we start to do it. And as a result of that one person's heart, Yahweh heard him. Going in the right way, while seeking a direction, face towards it. And his prayer brought mercy to the whole nation. Isn't that beautiful? Well, that happened. And Israel forgets things like that. One little king, when they found the book, he was so overjoyed. He commanded the high priest, hey, stop. Go to Yahweh and ask for permission that we might get it right. Because here the man was going, and Yahweh told him to his face, it's because of you. I'll get to it. But I just want Yisrael to know you have to have something to live for to keep the Shabbat. It's more to this than just you coming in the building. I'm going to have a little fun. I might sing a good song. I might hit the best note of my life today. I might get a good meal. I might be happy. I might giggle a little bit. And then I'm going to go home, put my feet up. It's so much more to the blessing of Yahweh than what we realize as a people. Because more often than not, we don't pay attention to nothing. We don't pay attention. See, if we got to be nosy, right? Everybody know what nosy means, right? Person always signifying, looking at every little detail. Okay. If we got to be nosy, then why not be so nosy that we know every detail that Yahweh wants us to live by, which once we start knowing the details, it's so easy. I watch people every year when the feast days come up, every year fumble the dates and the times. Every year fumble in this, not remembering. The night comes before the day. I watch this every year and I say to myself, damn, how do you not know your culture? But you can go to Walmart and know that you either got to get in line with a cashier or you got to do self-checkout. How do you remember that, but you don't remember Yahweh's setup? How do you pull up at the gas station? In case you didn't know this, pay attention on your dashboard. Wherever you see the little gas pump on your dashboard, Ain't it a little arrow on there? What the arrow for? Thank you. There you go. Y'all know that. Okay, cool. I ain't teach y'all nothing today. I might as well take that point back, right? No, that little arrow, it tell you which side. Because you could be borrowing your daughter, your son's car, somebody, right? It's your first time in it. They say, I will bring it back with some gas in it. You're like, all right. Now you looking at that thing, and that gauge you done pulled up driver's side, and then the gauge telling you it's over here. Well, then you go move and spin around, but as you go over there, somebody else done got the pump, whatever. Anyway, it's the same thing with Yahweh's word. There's a guide, there's an indicator pointing us to what we have to do so that this way of life does not bore you. This way of life does not wear you down. This way of life does not anger you. This way of life does not frustrate you because you are living. We have failed so tremendously. Yesterday, I'm not trying to make this point to my Hebrew brother. He's half my age. I couldn't even get a word in. He's gone. Every time I say something, every time I say something, he's. So I was thinking to myself, okay, now what you need to do is mark this day on your calendar. Because I love you as my brother, but you got a little too much mouth. Mark this day on your calendar because you ain't getting another one of these. See, that's the young men's problem. They got so much mouth. They got so much disdain for the elders. They got so much authority. Everybody got to teach you. One thing you as parents teach your children before they go to school. You teach your children. I think you do. You teach your children. Listen to that. Y'all hear that? Notice, ain't nobody talking. You teach your children. You ain't talking while your teacher talking. But today, whenever the teachers are talking, they got to get 1,000 words per hour in because they got to show you that they know something. Yisrael, there's nothing about life that ain't encoded in Yahweh's words. The suppressed books, the lost books. As the brother was talking to me, cutting me off, making his point, got to let me know he know a little something and everything. He had to get all his stuff in. I was thinking about the Apostle Shaul. The Apostle Shaul said, how is it when we get together, everybody got a song? Everybody got a scripture. Everybody got something. And everything I go to say, he had a scripture. He hid the, okay, you good. You quoting the book, but I'm listening to you quote. Some of the stuff you quoting, you just quoting, but it ain't in the proper context based upon what we trying to get to. So I kind of like left it alone. Killed two birds with one stone. I smothered over a dispute. And I did go and introduce myself to a brother that claims that he loves and respects Yahweh, whatever the case may be. But here is my point. All of us ain't teachers. All of us ain't sent to preach. Some of us have the smallest, greatest, but yet seemingly mediocre job of just being called to salvation. Isn't that great? I'm telling you all, just being called to salvation is so great in comparison to the direct deposit that's coming in the event we don't obey. Notice I said direct deposit because you're going straight into that lake. So just simply being called, even as a doorkeeper, as it says in the word, one would rather be a doorkeeper in the house of Yahweh than to just have one night with the world and the wicked. We got to get to that point where we understand the beauty and the greatness of salvation. Yahweh set this thing out here and made the world for the sake of Yisrael. Sometimes we don't understand how good we got it. He made the world for the sake of you. And that's what Teddy was singing about. He said, I like the wind. I like the snow. I like the rain. I like to hear the wind blow. That's what he was singing about. And as you think on that, you say, Yahweh is so awesome that he made man with an internal mechanism that if you shoot it, you ever see them little glow sticks? You got to break them. And once you break them, they glow and they light up. Man had an internal mechanism. As long as he obeyed Yahweh and did what he's supposed to do, he'd have never broke that internal mechanism that then released a poison in this earth that every time he and his Isha come to know one another and create a life, they've also created death. Did you know that that's how it works? So when you say to Yisrael, hey, man, we got to come to respect Yahshua's sacrifice far greater than what we've ever done, because we really do seem to be losing out on something now, because we're not paying attention the way we ought to as a people. So the poor little children of Israel, they got to seek this thing out and seek it out in a way where they come to delight in knowing Yahweh. Make sense? So he says, because they have sinned against Yahweh, the habitation of justice, even Yahweh, the hope of their fathers. Remove, get up out of the midst of Babylon and go out of the land of the Chaldeans and be as the he-goats before the flock. All right, let's spit this out. This is a mystery. Write this down, write this down, write this down, write this down, write this down. Remember back in the day, I'll tell you exactly what to write down. Just keep your pens right. Remember back in the day when they say Lincoln freed the slaves and they was thinking about sending us somewhere. They was thinking about getting rid of us and send them somewhere. They were going to send us back. Do you remember? Anybody know what they said they was planning on sending us at first? They were planning on sending you to Liberia. Like, get rid of them. Send them over. Send them back to Africa. Send them to Liberia. That was a plan of the U.S. government. They were talking about a plan to send them back, get them back, get them back, get them back. Okay, here's where I'm going. Check this out. Get out of the midst of Babylon and go forth out of the land of the Chaldeans and be as the he-goats before the flock. You got to understand how he-goats are protective of the flock. You got to understand how they maneuver. They have authority. You got to pay attention to animals. Brothers and sisters on farmland can tell you a little bit more about that. Understand something. People say, well, how are we going to go home? How are we going to get back? How are we going to do? Sometimes y'all would put an idea out there before the world and people miss what's being said. Now, you got a group of two groups of devils fighting over your house. You don't belong to either one of them. But a third group of devils step up and say, hey, we're going to take over that. We got it. We'll take that for ourselves. Because behind closed doors, we got a problem here. We got a group of people that one day we might have to get rid of them. Might have to ship them somewhere. Now, I'm just throwing it out. That's the end of it. All right? Shut your mouths. That's the end of it. See, you ain't got a white boy standing there with a sword on his arm with Yeshua there for nothing. I said they got command of the resources, command of the earth, command of the media, trying to get saved. They can't get saved beyond you or before you. They must do right by you. If Yahweh say, hey, clear that out, y'all ain't paying attention. Y'all ain't paying attention. I'm going to speak it today, and I ain't going to bring it up no more. When it go down and the word tell you again, get up out of Babylon, and somebody done made a way because they would rather have you get up and go. Pharaoh said, go. Hey, well, bless me also. Ain't that what Pharaoh said? Now, see, again, if you ain't paying attention to the time and you don't understand the repetitive nature of history, you'll contradict me. You'll be all up in the comments. You'll be new to the channel. You'll have so much to say. You'll be preaching in the comments section more than I'm preaching up here. That's how we do. But if y'all would bless you to see and understand how he's moving, he said, I set up kings and take them down. Can you, somebody shut that for me? I'm about to break up here today. I can tell you right now, but y'all, last thing y'all want me to do is, anyway, here's what we do. Pay attention. You can just drop it back a couple degrees. That'll be enough to shut it off. If y'all get cold, let me know. We can turn it back on for y'all. Anyway, Yahweh's people are going to really have to be quiet and trust the process. He ain't forgot you. Yahweh can make any king anywhere in this earth do whatever he said do, whether they hate you or not. Cyrus was mentioned 1,000 years in prophecy before he was even born, and Yahweh made him say, hey, they serve Yahweh. Shouldn't they have the right to go back to their own land and set up make way for them to go do this, that, and the other? What is today any different if Yahweh himself said, I am Yahweh, and I change not. Therefore, the children of Jacob are not consumed. He's the same today, yesterday, and forever. He's the same. You are the apple of his eye. All you got to do is calm down. That's all you got to do is calm down. There's this passage in the scripture, the children of Israel, they had this dispute. There was this man, they were going at it back and forth, right? I'll find it, maybe bring it up next week. But he kept mouthing off at one of the men in Yisrael, one of the toughest men in his day and age, right? Until he ran down on him. And when he ran down on him with the sword, you got to read the story from today's perspective to understand what he said. Because when he ran down on him, he was basically like, okay, now you were talking all that trash to me, but I'm here now. Where your mouth at now? Because he didn't go there to play with him. That's in the book. And that's what I'm saying to these preachers in Baltimore today. Damn, I'm getting tired of y'all now. But I'm also saying to the messengers in Yisrael, we kind of like getting tired of y'all too, because y'all won't stand up and back nobody up when you don't have the power to go and do it yourself. Damn, you leave somebody out there all alone and you hide in your sanctuary and you think you strong. But the devils don't touch you and they don't bother you because they know you weak. And as long as you stay in your place, they won't bother you. So if that's the way we rolling, in exchange for peace and safety, then I won't say nothing to the devil and the devil's children. Then it's best that you stay wherever it is that you are, because this thing getting ready to get hot and heavy on all those who name the name of Yahweh. Ain't gonna be no hiding. You leave L. Johnson out there, I could die today, tomorrow. All they're gonna do is come out, oh man, he was a good brother. And I'm telling you all, don't let nobody tell you no crap like that. Go and put him out. In fact, don't even have nothing. Hey, El John passed away. Yeah, he this, that, no. Yeah, boop, that's that. But I'm telling you all, that's how we do each other. We want to be recognized. We want to be memorized and be seen as so great. The Empire State Building, it's a great building. But it's standing there. As great as it is, there's one fact about it that nobody talks about. It's great. But it doesn't know it. Think about it. The Titanic was great. Still is. And at the bottom of the ocean, it doesn't know it. Yahweh's word says that great men are not always wise. Neither do the elders always understand judgment. So I'm saying, Yisrael, there's a group of people that know their fathers did you wrong. There's a group of people that know your father's coming to get you, that know the father going to tell his son, you go get my children, go get them. There's a group of people that at that last minute, they want to say, Yahweh, we had these. We kept them safe and sound for you. The word says they shall bring your sons and daughters as an offering unto Yahweh. See, y'all ain't paying attention. What is it, 27 days in office now? 27, 26, 27 days, knocking down all of the stuff that hurt you, and you don't hear nobody saying nothing about it. Knocking down all the stuff that destroyed you. This ain't no love for you, whatever the case it is. This is a small effort. Hey, look, we better do right by them. Those are the children of the Most High. You know what? We better get that blessing. We better do right. And we still don't see it. That's the power of American media. That's the power. They accuse the Doge of all kind of stuff. They say this, that, and other, blah, blah. But there's one thing you don't never hear them say about Doge. You don't never hear them say they're lying. Notice, you never heard them say they're lying. You spend $50 million on, I played the soundbite. I don't have to play it now, do I? But they spent millions of dollars. Transgender studies and operate. You operating on a horse. He's a male horse. You trying to turn him out, make him a girl. You practicing for when you get it perfected and showing up, and try it on your children. And then put an agenda in the school where your children go in the daughter and come out confused and she want to be a boy. This is the stuff that they spending money on. And this is our brothers and sisters, fraternities, sororities, sitting up in there cheerleading this stuff on. It's an abomination to y'all. Then they'll jump up tomorrow, go to church. They won't even carry the Bible. They just go in the building and think they're holy. When the book is against all of that. But it's us, them dark-skinned people that look like me and you, cheering them on. And the white folks that do go with it, this is what they do. They get the funding and the money to push it forward, and they make us the face of it. They be rolling with it, but they put us out there and make us the face of it, because then it's like we're giving them equal rights and all this other stuff. Come on, man. Imagine how messed up you would have been 50 years ago. Remember Mr. Ed? I am Mr. Ed. Remember that? Now imagine you come home from school one day, you pop TV on, and all of a sudden, I am Mrs. Edwina. You be messed up in the head. So the same thing with your children and your grandchildren, and we don't have no authority and don't know how to say nothing, because right now, as Yisrael's condition emerges, this is just how we're going to be during the tribulation period, asking the direction of how to go there, how to get there, going in the right direction. But right now, we scattered. We like lost sheep. We don't know what to do. Just walking around in circles. Let's watch this. I bet you, remember that time Moses got confused and didn't know what to do? Remember that? People say, what? I don't remember Moses getting confused. Somebody in the comment section right about now, I don't remember that. Yeah, well, let me refresh your memory. Exodus 14:8. Some of the stories in scripture, not mocking our brothers and sisters, not Def Comedy Jam laughing, but funny in the sense of, man, it was strange how they did that. You ever panic, looking for something? Let's say you're going out the house, you looking for your keys. I did it the other day. I put my coat on, and I went to do something, and I took my wallet out of my pants pocket and put it in my coat pocket. But then I was looking for something, then I took my coat off and put it back down, ran upstairs, and I'm looking for my wallet. Man, so I lost about 15 minutes in the house looking for my wallet. Then it dawned on me, hey, you took it out the pants pocket, you put it in your coat pocket, which is something I never do. So then when I got it in the cupboard, I'm like, okay, cool. It's a certain way I can tap my body and check my stuff, and I know I got everything that I carry every day. So it's my pattern. Point here, we get in panic mode sometimes because our essential routine gets broken. I want you to see this. This is so beautiful. Moshe got in panic mode. And I like the way Yahweh handled it, because he basically was like, come on now, what you calling on me for? I gave you the power. I got to come down there and do it. What you calling on me for? Watch this, because this is so beautiful. This is a pattern. We do these same things, right? Exodus 14:8. And Yahweh hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he pursued after the children of Yisrael. And the children of Israel went out with an high hand. Now, they left out. Yahweh was with them, boy. This thing was so charismatic. It was so beautiful. The whole world knew Yahweh engineered this. But Pharaoh was still mad about it. But the Egyptians pursued after them. All the horses and chariots of Pharaoh and all his horsemen and his army overtook them, encamping by the sea, beside Pihorioth, before Baal-Zephon. And when Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them, and they were sore afraid. And the children of Israel cried out unto Yahweh. Oh, wait a minute, you need him now, huh? And they said unto Moshe, because there was no graves in Egypt, you brought us out here to die in the wilderness. And they turned on him. They thought he set them up. They thought Pharaoh was like, yeah, get rid of them. Go on out there and act like they're going to be free. We'll come out there, we're going to kill them and bury all of them, because there's too many of them now. Anyway, hast thou taken away to die in the wilderness? For what cause have you dealt with us as such, to carry us forth out of Egypt? Is not this the word that we did tell you in Egypt, saying, leave us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? See, that's what them American Negroes are saying today when we stand up and try to teach them things in the word and connect the word to all the stuff you do. That's what them American Negroes, them black Democrats and all them others are saying today. Leave us alone. Leave it alone, David. For it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians than that we should die in the wilderness. And Moshe said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of Yahweh, which he will show to you this day. For the Egyptians whom you have seen today, you shall see them again no more forever. Yahweh shall fight for you, and you shall hold your peace. In other words, shut up, be quiet. Yeah, Moses himself. Sound tough, right? 60 seconds later, Yahweh said unto Moshe, Why are you crying unto me? Speak unto the children of Yisrael that they may go forth. Wait a minute. Ain't nothing there but the water. You standing in the presence of the baddest, toughest, most upright thing in all the universe. And you in panic mode. He done brought you this far. He done struck at all the most powerful gods in the most powerful nation in all the world at that time. How much more proof do you need? How much evidence is enough? You got it? See, nobody can convince me now I need to serve Buddha. You can't walk on me and do that. You cannot walk down on me and tell me that I need to serve Jehovah. You cannot do it. You cannot run down on me now and tell me Yahuwah, Yahweh Da, Yahweh Shai, and all these other new names now. You cannot do it. Because we're firm in our understanding of who he is. Okay? I had a preacher a long time ago tell me, well, I tell you what I've seen. I didn't know what he was advocating, but I know I stopped talking to him. He said, I have seen people do many mighty miracles in the name of Jesus. This is a preacher in Yahshua. He said that to me. It was at that moment I stopped talking. I shut right out. I let him talk. Okay, I see where this is going. I'm thinking to myself, okay, I see where this is going to go. And I tell you all, before it's all over with, you could be forced to turn your back on Yahshua or denounce his name because you claim you've seen it on both ends. We don't deny that the devil got power, but Yahweh has all power. And when Yahshua got up, he had no need to lie because the scripture teaches us that Yahweh spoke to us by two unchangeable things in which it was impossible for him to lie. Why then would Yahshua get up and say all power in heaven and in earth is given in mine hand? He gave him all power. So why would he lie? So now you want to sit up and tell me what you saw in the name of Jesus. Okay. I stopped talking. I ain't arguing with him because he was an elder. I ain't arguing. But I knew this as a younger man. That one, you ain't pulling on me. If they can shake your faith, then shake and get this shaking. Me, I'm going to stand firm and confident in Yahshua. So I shut up. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, why criest thou unto me? Speak unto the children of Israel that they may go forth. But lift up thy rod and stretch out thine hand over the sea and divide it. And the children of Israel shall go on dry ground through the midst of the sea. Wait a minute. What does the scripture say years later? Surely Yahweh Elohim will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servant, the prophet. Was not Moses one of Yahweh's main servants? Was he not a prophet? Yahweh gave him a secret, didn't he? Lift your rod up toward the sea. They going over on dry ground. Lift it up. Scientists now, you can't play science and scientific evidence cheap because sometimes they got stuff. Like now they looked at the historic evidence. They done studied the forensics of everything. They pretty much tell you right where the children of Israel went across. They talk about how they went through. They show you these things at little miles down the road where he possibly hit the stone and clave it in two so that the waters ran out. They go back over there and look at stuff like this and say, nah, our own scientific evidence shows that this is real, that was real, this happened, that happened, this place, that place. Over in Turkey, they got this region fenced and cordoned off now. You can't go over there and conduct an investigation like you want to. Why? What are they saying they found? Over process of time, Noah landed the ark right there where the scripture says it landed. And over the process of time, you get windstorms and different things, dirt blow, cover something up, sitting there. Now they claiming that is what it is. And they don't want nobody digging. Because see, if you go in there and you start digging and you start verifying and substantiating what's in the book, one piece of proof verifies another piece of proof, which verifies more proof. And after a while, you can't cover up and hide no lies. You get it? So what do? Same thing they did to Mount Caucasus. Fence it off, close it off, make sure nobody ever gets here. Make it illegal. Why has it got to be illegal? It's on earth, right? If I'm strolling, I'm walking one day and I just happen to walk across it, why should I be arrested for walking across? What do you not want people to know? So Yahweh told him, and behold, I will harden the heart of the Egyptians, and they shall follow them. And I will get me honor upon Pharaoh and upon all his hosts and upon his chariots and upon his horsemen. And the Egyptians shall know that I am Yahweh when I have gotten me honor upon Pharaoh, upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen. So over there in that region of the world, they reaching and looking and doing their studies and everything. And what are they finding? Chariots down in the bottom of that sea with gold rims and things. You thought Buddy Boy did that in 85 with the BBSs and all that. Pharaoh and them did it way back then. So you know they were black folk. Anybody found no gold rims up in London nowhere? I'll wait. Switzerland. Wasn't even no gold up there. They had to come in our house and steal it. How about that? Yeah, man. Anyway, notice he says, I'm going to get me a name on them. They shall know that I'm Yahweh when I've gotten me honor upon Pharaoh and upon his chariots and upon his horsemen. And the Malachim of Yahweh, which went before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them. And the pillar of the cloud went from before their face and stood behind them. And it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Yisrael. And it was a cloud of darkness to them. And it gave light by night to these, so that the one came not near all the night to the other. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? Who in here think Yahweh ain't got that kind of power to this day? Come on, man. Yahweh made it. He made it all. Come on. Right down to the wind. Something you don't see. You out disobeying Yahweh and transgressing, doing everything you want to do, think you bigger than anything. He said, okay, I'm sick of your mouth now. I know what to do for y'all. I'm going to send a tornado down there. Tornado come, touch down, blow all your stuff away. You in the house, in the bed, whatever. Tornado hit 2 o'clock in the morning. It done blew the house 8 blocks down the street. You still in the bed. He had mercy. Blew your covers up over your face. You get up and jump. Everything gone. He had mercy. Who can do that like Yahweh? And we get around as Yisrael, don't recognize the signs. What were all of the political, social conditions in their day that Yisrael faced as they were leaving? Think about what I'm saying now. Because however they drank, if they were smoking or whatever going on, whatever recreation or whatever it was they did, we were mixed up in it, just like our brothers and sisters are here today. So can you imagine? And I'll give you a good example. Brothers I work with on the job periodically, some of them can't work until they smoke a blunt. Got to roll up, got to smoke. And then when they get the smoke in them, they can work all day, fine. And they might smoke again later, but they can function. Now imagine us leaving Egypt, the vices of the day. Well, the very things that were around us then, like it is around us now. So don't just look at it was all just smoke and mirrors and everybody just came out fully cooperative. We came out a mixed and crazy multitude. And yet Yahweh still deliver so that you and I breathe in the same air that they breathe, same heart beating that they had beating, same blood, same arteries, same capillary, same feet, same hand. Your stuff move like theirs move. Why are we so afraid to honor Yahweh with our being? We ashamed to be Hebrews now. We ashamed to be everything, man. Be what Yahweh has commanded and blessed you to be. That's the secret to living. We make the Shabbat keeping so hard. Everybody got, man, please. Some people after a while, they do depress you though. Man. So again, my point here, everybody see Moses' confusion coming up out of the land? And Yahweh had to remind him, what are you calling on me for? I gave you the power. I sent you down here to get him. Now you got him. Split that water and get on across there, man, if I come in and get you myself. So he went on through, right? Again, they'll seek direction while going the right way. Are we seeking direction today? Are we keeping his commandments as best we can? Then aren't we going the right way? Even though sometimes we get afraid, we get confused. Let me let y'all in on a little secret. We got to stop that. That's it. That's the secret. We got to stop that. Got to stop being confused. Stop doubting him. Know for certain. Get off that old doubting horse. You hear me? You going through the water and the horse, he's scared. He think he came. It ain't but 3 feet. Horse itself sit up 6, 7 feet high, right? Then you on his back. He's scared to go through the water. Then come up to his knees. He's scared to go through the water. How you going to make it on his back if he's scared? Right? Get off that old horse of fear, Yisrael, and let's put all our trust in Yahweh. Sometimes the poor little children of Israel are cutting up so bad, and this is funny. You are so used to correcting them and chastising them. Then you see one out of line, you think he cutting up. You don't realize he got more authority than you. Confusion. But nevertheless, let's go to Joshua chapter 5. This is so beautiful because this is a man of Yahweh. He was a swordsman. He didn't play. Moshe brought him up. He taught him. And after Moshe passed off the scene, all the sadness, all the weeping in the morning, eventually it had to come to an end because now you are given a task. And to travel in the great name of Yahshua, you yourself in the first expedition must lead them into the promised land till the great Yahshua does come and take them there that final time. Joshua 5:13. And it came to pass when Yahshua was by Jericho that he lifted up his eyes and looked. And behold, there stood a man over against him with a sword drawn in his hand. Now look at here now. It's a tough man here. Yisrael lining up, getting ready to travel. You got everybody. Ain't nobody still in the club. Ain't nobody back at the 7-Eleven. Ain't nobody need to run back and gas up their horse. Everybody lined up, ready to go. You look over and see somebody that ain't in line, but he got a sword in his hand. And you like, it's always got to be one of us. You go strolling over to him, right? And he said, art thou for us or for our adversary? And he said, nay. I tell you what, as the captain of the host of Yahweh's army, am I now come? Yahshua fell on his face toward the earth and did worship. And he said unto him, what saith my sovereign unto his servant? And the captain of Yahweh's host said unto Yahshua, loosen up thy shoe. Take off thy shoe from off thy foot. For the place whereon thou standest is Kodesh. And Yahshua did so. Isn't that beautiful? You go over there to get a man straight, who was straight from the beginning. And it's his duty to get you and all others straight. And when you realize who you done walked up on, you say, man, I ain't even got a witness. Who in the world can I tell this to? And took them shoes off. And here you and I are today in America, 2025, giving them a hard way to go. Keep in mind, he had that sword in his hand. Keep in mind what Moshe told us about him. He said he bears not the sword in vain. He said that we better hear him. Hear ye him. So there you have it. Again, here's a man ready to go, ready to line up, but he saw one out of line, looking for direction and was going in the right direction. As we would say in today's world, he's a man of Yahweh standing beside himself, confronting the dilemma of who he was and dealing with who he was, if that makes sense to you all. See, only Yahweh can do beautiful things like that and have his people look at it, understand, and know the code. You hear what I'm saying? Only Yahweh's people can look at stuff like that and know the code. I got family and some friends on social media. We talk to each other and stuff. We post stuff and we be talking to each other. Though everybody see the post, it's so codified, they don't even catch what we saying. We just put it out there for each other. I asked the brother to look at something the other day. We delving into something real interesting, real unique. Something that Yahweh showed, you do that. That's a power move. And when we do what Yahweh leading us to do and look up in the city, going to be shocked and say, now how the hell they pull that off? So we pulled it off right in your face, like Yahweh told us to do, like we had done before. I asked the people on social media one time, I said, man, you ever did something so big, so great, that you know Yahweh was with you when you did it? You did something so great that you can't even bring it up. You can't even take credit for it. Yahweh bless you to do it. David Wiggins, a couple other brothers, myself, help the people in this city do something. Something so big, so great, we just laugh about it because we know Yahweh was with us when we did it, and it helped the people in the city. And we just look at each other from time to time and say, yeah, Yahweh blessed us to do that. We poof, keep on moving. You wait till he does this thing for all of us on a global scale. You talk about unified fist bumping all through Yisrael. The world ain't seen nothing. See, look, we can't even do that now. White folk fist bumping. You see that? Now let's be real. Let's be honest. Can y'all imagine me somewhere dancing the jig, doing that little Irish stuff they do? I just wouldn't even look right, right? I don't know. Wait, let me take that back. You know how we do. We get stuff, we take over. Next thing you know, we make it look good. Some brother named Shabuzi sang a song about everybody in the bar getting drunk. And I was on the job site. They were playing it. And I was like, oh, that's that brother they was talking about. But I was watching the white people. I said, look at that. They got there to have rhythm to something that they black folk done took over country music. Beyonce of all people, she out there saying country music. Well, yeah, it was ours from the jump. I knew somebody was gonna spit that out. Yeah, it was ours. All that stuff, the blues, we do it. We the only people in the world can take all our trials and tribulations and put them to music and make ourselves feel better. Only people in the world can do that. Make ourselves feel. White folk do it and they got to sing about killing each other. Man, you know what? I ain't even gonna waste no time on them today. They get another message another time. We gearing up and prepping for the Pesach and all the things that come with that and line Yisrael up. I just need to show you now how we as Yahweh's people will be in the latter days, again, so confused that we'll seek direction while going the right way. That don't mean be arrogant and high-minded. It just means that you will need direction. You understand? See, you can get on the highway and travel wherever you got to go, but you got to know what exit you're supposed to get off on. If by chance you miss your exit, now you got to go down the road 1 or 2 more exits and turn around. Now coming back up, you do have to look for the proper exit to get off on to get as close to the vicinity where you need to go. Am I correct? Okay, right now we traveling the road of Islam. We traveling the road of Christianity. And might as well throw atheism in there while we at it now, because we are big on atheism, believe it or not. Man, 50 years ago, you couldn't find no black atheists. I'm being honest. Even if we believed in the Lord and didn't know nothing else, we believed in something. Now, all of a sudden, atheism has emerged, and this stuff is taken over, man. So people ain't believing nothing. We got to get off at the right exit and get back on the right road to salvation. And that's what the devil don't want. That's why he comes to you now, people that look just like you, they giving you the blues, different ones. How you gonna sit up and argue with a family member about the Bible? They ain't never read it a day in their life. They gonna tell you how to live. How you gonna tell me how to believe a book that you ain't never read? This is what people do. They got opinions and a whole staunch analysis of the book and ain't never read nothing. We in trouble, y'all. All right, let's go look at 1 Samuel chapter 8. I'm gonna show y'all something. This way the confusion really started getting hard in the children of Yisrael. The confusion really did get hard now because I'll show you some things in the word. First Samuel chapter 8. I just got over Joshua's confusion during Israel's roundup. Am I correct? Now let's look at how Israel's confusion touched Samuel in a way where, again, now pay attention. I mentioned earlier we got to get into a discussion on how confusion and hard times will touch the elders just prior to this thing going down. And I'm going to show you what Yahweh intends to do with Yisrael. If Yahweh confuses the minds of a great number of the elders as it's supposed to go down, and you have a great number of the younger generation that ain't listening, how can they be properly geared up for the call? Thus, what's taking place is a twofold duality. Number one, he's confusing the elders. He's putting so much pain and pressure on them now, even as they fall off the scene. Then you got the young generation that does not know and does not understand, which means in every age, Yahweh will always have a remnant. You get it? This is how he will clean house. This is why it is imperative that you teach the young people how to love and how to honor Yahweh. Young people should not be bored. I'm sorry, I didn't come up in the assembly bored. You didn't catch me looking bored and crazy and goofy in the house of Yahweh, because we had elder mothers that they knew their part. They had things. They put us little children's choir. You had them in Bible study. They had stuff that didn't overstep the authority of the men, but yet it kept the morale of us as babies alive. Okay? The scripture talks about in the Lamentation how the young men ceased from their music. I was thinking about that the other day, and I was reading. I remember we be in school. Brother come in there. He smoked weed. This was young man. He was like 8th, 9th grade. He smoked his weed. He always came into class late, smelled like marijuana. And the teacher say, "You all right?" Now they used this word back then called "we got ill." ILL. We was getting ill. So teacher didn't understand the slang. She says, "Are you okay?" He said, "Yeah, I'm okay. I just feel a little ill." She said, "Well, go ahead and put your head down on the desk." She didn't understand. She didn't understand. He meant ill. He was high. So she thought he wasn't feeling well. Put his head. Later on, he just beating all on the desk, right? Now, most of y'all that's laughing, you laugh because you went through that in school, right? You can relate. You little drummer boy and all that stuff. Our children don't go through that today. They don't have that drive, that edge. They have no morale, no get up, no go, no motivation. It's just they exist. You say, "Well, what you do? What you want to do in life?" "I don't know." So, "Well, what do you play?" "I don't know." So, "Well, what you I don't know." And if you go into a fourth question, you might get punched in the face. Because that's this generation where they just ain't got no concern for nothing and nobody. I call them the Schwarzenegger generation. They got these strong thumbs from just playing Nintendo or Xbox all day. This is the only thing to get muscle, get exercise, them thumbs. Am I lying? Huh? No, them eyes weak. No, that's all right. Them eyes weak because they be looking at that screen so long. That's why they need glasses too. Them screens and stuff, they can look at them. I'm telling you, them eyes get weak. They tell them studies on them gamma rays and all that other stuff. And while until we need glasses, we staring at a damn screen all day. You don't sit up and read a book under some natural light, get some vitamin D in you and all that. We don't do it no more. So everything that's designed now just tearing us up. Well, watch this. This got real sad. Israel's confusion hit a king. I mean, not a king, hit a prophet, and it hit him in such a way where their confusion was like a spillover. He knew better, but it impacted him too, because nothing hurts you worse than to see your children go astray, right? Parents, you got to feel for your children when they go astray. This has got to hurt you. And it came to pass when Samuel was old that he made his sons judges over Yisrael. Now the name of the firstborn was Joel, and the name of the second was Abiyah. They were judges in Beersheba. And his sons walked not in his ways, but turned aside after lucre, that's money, and took bribes and perverted judgment. You see what they did? Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together and came to Shemael unto Ramah and said unto him, Behold, you're old, and your sons walk not in your ways. Now, make us a king to judge us like all the other nations. But the thing displeased Samuel when they said, Give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed unto Yahweh. See, how many old men do that today? Just stop whatever they're doing, just start praying to Yahweh about an issue. And Yahweh said unto Samuel, Hearken unto the voice of the people, in all that they say unto thee, for they have not rejected you, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them. So in other words, Yahweh had to comfort Samuel, because the thing hurt him. He knew Yahweh is best for you. Okay, my sons are screwing up. Yahweh is best for you. You stick with Yahweh anyway. So now, see how Israel's confusion spilled over to affect its leadership? With all due respect. See, this is why sometimes as leadership, we can't always be listening to y'all. A lot of times y'all want stuff that goes against the Torah, or you just want somebody to sanction something you really trying to do. A shepherd of y'all, he going to stand on the word. You understand? So, no, I can't do that. I can't go along with that. This is what the word say. This is what we're going to do. Listen to now how Yahweh ameliorated this problem. So he said, they have rejected you, but they've rejected me, that I should not reign over them. According to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them up out of Egypt, even unto this day, wherewith they have forsaken me and served other mighty ones, so do they also unto you. In other words, they're doing the same thing to you that they've been doing. They did this to me. You're leading them and guiding them in the right way. But since I brought them out of Egypt, genetically, this is what we do. Remember? Breathing, heartbeat, walking, talking, eating, transgressing. What did he say? Since the day I brought them up out of Egypt, this is what they've done. Now, therefore, hearken unto their voice. He said, listen to them. However, yet protest solemnly unto them, and show them the manner of the king that shall reign over them. Notice, y'all, this is the manner of man. Show them what type of man will reign over them. Show them what will happen. Since this is what you want, show them what will emerge out of man. And Shemael told all the words of Yahweh unto the people that asked of him a king. And he said, this will be the manner of the king. He shall reign over you. He will take your sons and appoint them for himself, for his chariots, and to be his horsemen. And some shall run before his chariots. And he will appoint him captains over thousands, captains over 50s. He will set them to ear his ground and to reap his harvest, and to make his instruments of war and instruments of his chariots. He will take your daughters to be confectionaries, and to be cooks, and to be bakers. He will take your fields and your vineyards and your olive yards, even the best of them, and give them to his servants. And he will take the tenth of your seed out of your vineyards and give it to his officers and to his servants. And he will take your men servants and your maid servants and your goodliest young men and your asses and put them to his work. Not you per se in the street terminology. Got to correct that. I know somebody online will say, I heard him again. Anyway, he will take the tenth of your sheep, and you should be his servants. And you should cry out in that day because of your king, which you shall have chosen of you. And Yahweh will not hear you in that day. Well, ain't that how we do to this day? Still voting. Look at him now crying. The little king they voted for here in Maryland. What's his name? Yeah, Westmore. Look at him now. Y'all mad. Hey, he cut the budget. Oh, he gonna make the taxes go up. Oh, and what the hell you get? You asked for a Rhodes Scholar, and he rode in and made you roadkill. Now tell me I'm lying. Taxes, everything going up. Talking all that trash. We knew that when he went in there. When we learned, okay, that's Cecil Rhodes, man. See, we don't believe certain conspiracies and things exist. Some stuff, after a while, you don't make it a conspiracy theory. You just know it's the truth of what it is, and you just kind of like got to stay out of the way of it. Here's a good one. See, Kendrick Lamar rapped something and did something, maybe moved a hand sign that I missed or whatever, because I ain't seen it yet. Well, I ain't seen the whole thing. Anyway, now everybody is up in arms because he told us a secret. Something that we all had to decipher. Anybody got it yet? You know what? I know why y'all ain't get it, because y'all didn't buy the cereal. See, even record it before I can get it out. You got to buy the cereal and get the secret decoder ring. And then you sit down and you figure out the message, right? Don't forget to drink your Ovaltine, whatever it is. Anyway, for that, you had to see the movie to get that, brother. But anyway, so now we think we're getting messages, subliminal messages through the rap world. They know something that the prophets didn't know. So here's a prophet, told you the whole psychology of what a king will do as Yahweh commanded him to tell you. You trusted this little man as a prophet all along till he got old. Now the social pressures, the social condition, he too old to know anything now. Give us a king. We know your sons is corrupt. They ain't doing like you did. Look, man, you ain't gonna be here much longer. Hook us up a king. when the prophet is telling you, stick with Yahweh. Just as he raised me up as a king, he can raise up another. I mean, not as king, raise me up as a prophet, he can raise you up another. That's what he was trying to get him to see. You're old, you don't know nothing. Remember now, Yahweh's word going to do this same thing again to those of us right now that's in that age bracket, 50 and up, somewhere around that time frame. Watch when this happens, because when this happens, Yahweh's people have to get up and get out of here. Anyway, nevertheless, verse 19, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel. They said, nay, but we will have a king over us, that we also may be like all the nations, that our king may judge us and go out before us and fight our battles. Where your king at today? The one king you did have, they shot him on April the 4th, 1968. Remember that one? Anybody else emerged even with that last name? So that I'll let you know something right there, right? Yeah, they beat Rodney. Yeah, I forgot about Rodney. Yeah, they beat Rodney King. And the other Rodney, he don't get no respect. No respect, I tell you, no respect. Nevertheless, yeah, Ema, that was a good one. Nevertheless, the people refused, that we may also be like the nations, that our king may judge us. Samuel heard all the words of the people, and he rehearsed them in the ears of Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto Samuel, hearken unto their voice, and make them a king. And Samuel said unto the men of Yisrael, go, every man unto his city. Let them know, go ahead, all right, go on in the house. Go on, we'll go searching for a man to make him your king. Yisrael needs to know and understand something about the manner of the king, because the manner of the first king that emerged, man, you could almost say he was a psychopath. Think about it. He came out the gate smoking, split personality, mental health problems, anger management, all of the modern day stuff that you and I have to deal with today. Jealousy, a rage, function under a ruse, and all of these different things. You have to be able to recognize these types of behavior today. Sometimes you can sit and talk to people that have that kind of behavior, and they are happy to have that type of spirit upon them. I remember a brother years ago, I worked with him. He said they made him the foreman some kind of way. Oh, I remember Feast of Tabernacles. We went on vacation, kept the Feast of Tabernacles. I went and kept the feast, came back. He was my boss and was mean-spirited, vicious, and telling people, yeah, I admit it. I got a lot of cross in my blood. I'm the damn devil. And when he said it, I stood there and looked at him. I looked at him because I was thinking in my mind, I said, okay, well, I know every now and then I'm going to have to do battle with the devil. Watch how I pray and curse your soul. I've been praying ever since. Well, I'm still second in command under him. But you know what I love about it? Yahweh structured it so everybody at the company know who the real brain behind all of it really is. And there are days where they call me and need questions answered and this, that, and the other. And guess who don't even answer the phone? You the damn devil. You figure it out. Yahweh does things in a way where we as his people have to stay so humble and let Yahweh work a thing out according to his own heart's desire. So remember now, in 1 Samuel 8, the children of Israel's confusion hit the prophet so hard, it hurt him because he knew you should be quiet and stand your ground and walk with Yahweh nonetheless. Am I correct? Real quick, this is why Israel get in trouble a lot of time. They have slowed up, and I thank Yahweh for this. And in Baltimore at one time, I was getting free books and stuff like you wouldn't believe. Bookstore was jumping. I would review stuff and go over different books and tell them whether or not it was something worthwhile. And brother would get it. We could do reviews on the air and things. I realized myself getting older. I ain't weak or out of shape or anything, but I do acknowledge the stability of the times. You get older. You don't do the same things that you used to do as a young man. Stuff I did 30 years ago that I wouldn't even think of trying to do today. Now, there's this book. I had this for a while. It's called The Weaponization of Everything, a field guide to the new way of war. See, in other words, you're dealing with killers. These are demons. These are age-old spirits. These spirits function in men. And as they function in men, these men govern the planet. These spirits hate Yahweh. They hate Yisrael. They hate Yahshua. So as they move closer and closer towards the end time, remember, scripture teaches you that the devil knows that he has but a short time. He knows it's winding down. Now, his goal is, I'm still going to get this. The whole world, I don't care what I lose. The whole world is going to one day serve me. That's Shaitan's end goal. Burning, he ain't concerning himself with that because he does not understand the severity of it himself because y'all would let him go on anyway. Our thing as Yisrael is we're not paying attention. So in this, as I get to the closing chapter on page 195, they talk about a new weapon that they created. And the way they weaponize, let me give you some of the chapters so you can understand the essential point I'm trying to make. Part 1, we ain't going to study shooting or war no more. Remember, I talked to you all years ago after the 60s and the 70s when all of the major killing, even in America, took place. They stopped the bullet killing. They had weaponized medicine. So you could get a chemical, you could get a poison pill, you could get something that lie dormant in your body for weeks at a time and then suddenly activates itself and you die sudden death, unexplained. Autopsy said it was a heart attack, no trace of the poison or whatever, all this stuff. So they perfected this. Then this came back and now they're coming out with evidence admitting that even a lot of them COVID shots, this was the stuff that was put in it and this was the stuff that it was designed to do to get people off the planet. People that sanctioned that and went through that, for some reason or another, recently just got a bunch of pardons. If your medical advice was so good and so great, you should not have to be pardoned unless, of course, you do suspect that the information that you committed a major crime against humanity will eventually come out and you could possibly be prosecuted. That doesn't pardon you from the judgment of Yahshua. It pardons you in this lifetime. You get where I'm going? So they talked about soldiering plus the geopolitics being turned into a weapon. They talked about business being turned into a weapon. They talked about buying friends and being able to influence people. In other words, we'll pay you to join our organization. We'll give you a monthly stipend. Help us. Now, the programs we're pushing are no good for people, but just push it anyway and take your paycheck, go home and be quiet. They have weaponized everything, okay? We have weaponized crime. We have trained your children now to be carjackers and thieves and killers and all. We have weaponized your own children against you. Thus, the weaponization of everything. You get it? We've weaponized life. We've weaponized law. Remember, Trump kept talking about they used lawfare against him, accused him of different stuff, and then brought a trial. See, a lot of time what people don't understand about accusation or false accusations against, like Yahshua, for example, a lot of time it's not getting to court and beating the case, proving your innocence. It's about dragging you through the long, drawn-out process so that it weakens you psychologically, creates instability and other things. You don't necessarily, in other words, he got there in the court and beat a lot of the stupid stuff because that was the stuff they're saying, not defending him, but just wear him down to a point and a degree where he can't function. So if they did it to him, they're doing it to you and I, okay? They have weaponized information. So now different people specialize in telling lies. And it ain't about whether or not you get caught in the lie. I'll tell you what they say it's about. They weaponize culture. For example, a lot of people have emerged and say that they're Hebrew Israelites, but they don't preach the doctrine of Yahshua, but they're out causing confusion in the community. So then they end up being used as a weapon against who? Against Yisrael. So they weaponized your culture. You understand? Finally, they said that they would weaponize instability. Instability be weaponized against you. A man got a new job, but the job is only scheduled to last 8 months. Though you had him fill out the application, get the health insurance and all the other stuff in place, we in reality only need him for 8 months. We're going to let him go. If he finds something else, that's fine. Let him go in under the illusion that he's got here. He's going to be here for the next 30 years. The reality is his job, if he can make it, is only going to last another 12 months. We will create instability. We will cause the gas and electric prices to rise. We will turn it off when he can't pay it. We'll raise the price of specific food items, which will hit the pocket by small percentage points. Imagine raising the price of bread and eggs and gas and electric at the same time. Don't you have to cook the eggs? So you create a level of instability where you use the instability of one's life against them to a point and a degree where they just throw their hands up in disgust because they cannot make it. It's easier to stand somewhere and beg. You get it? So what they said was that upon cursory inspection of all that we have done, anyone who would show this would see it. But their aim was simply deniability, not secrecy. So in other words, we're not keeping this a secret that we're doing it to you, but we got it in such a way that when you come and accuse us of this, we can deny that this is what we've done to you. Does that make sense? Weaponized instability. So this is what Yahweh's people have to really prepare for and be up against, because see, a lot of time we think because we're quoting Torah that makes us people that know the word so well and we can just go and teach others when we got problems going on in life. And that's what I was trying to get the brother to understand the other day, something he wanted to talk to me about. Every time I go to open my mouth, he cut me off by quoting the scripture and wanting to know so much so that I, as an older man, couldn't talk. But yet, though I've been keeping it double his lifetime, there was nothing I could say to him. So I kind of like backed up and let it go. This is what Yisrael has become in the 20th century, because we no longer respect the priesthood, which is why I'll pull these examples out of the scripture where you keep seeing Yisrael do things that we're doing in the modern age, right? Jeremiah 50 says we're going to ask the way to go, and we'll be looking at it. Exodus showed Moses coming up out of the land. So much was going on, so much was happening. Even he got confused for a small moment, and Yahweh had to remind him, I'm with you. I gave you the power. Go forward and do it, right? We look up, Yahshua in line, got everybody ready to go, and then suddenly a little bit of confusion hits because one person ain't in the line and ain't in the formation. Now you got to stop everything he going, walk over and confront this one person that ain't in line, only to realize you're meeting the one who's really doing the leading. Samuel comes along, powerful man in Israel, a child called and anointed by Yahweh from the age of 8 years old up until his old age, well in his 90s. Suddenly get confused by the people's request for a king, so heartbroken because as the prophet, he served Almighty Yahweh and he knew that Yahweh was the king. And yet even his own sons didn't believe in him enough to walk in his footsteps. That's got to be heartbreak. Confusion in Yisrael, correct? Second Chronicles 34. Confusion in Yisrael. This is where the story gets interesting, because the confusion was only abated. It was only abated because of the humility of the king. We are taught in the wisdom of Sirach that the greater we become, the more humble also we must become. We got to be ever so careful. No matter how high we get elevated in Yahweh, we have to be so careful to remain humble in Almighty Yahweh. Second Chronicles 34. I want to start at the 8th verse, but let me set the backdrop so that you all know who this is. Because as the story goes on, it never mentions his name. It only keeps saying the king. So I'm going to start at verse 8, but let me hit verse 1 first. And Josiah was 8 years old when he began to reign. You hear that? This ain't no 8-year-old boy sitting on the throne just barking out orders and saying things. He's an 8-year-old child, but he has elders around him until he comes of age, and they're giving him counsel so as what to say and what to do, so that the people know he is the king. Though he is 8, he has advisors, okay? When he becomes a man, the advisors, they fall back in the league. They're still with him and surround him, but they fall back. But I want you to understand, this is Josiah, okay? And he did that which was right in the sight of Yahweh, and walked in the ways of David, his father, and declined neither to the right hand nor to the left. Isn't that beautiful? He stayed with Yahweh from 8 years of age and upward. So let's jump down to verse 8. Now in the 18th year of his reign, when he had purged the land, remember, he took the throne at 18 years later, when he had purged the land and the house, he sent Shaphan, the son of Azaliah, and Maaseiah, the governor of the city, to Ya'ah, the son of Jehoaz, the recorder, to repair the house of Yahweh, his Elohim. And when they came to Hilkiah the high priest, they delivered the money that was brought unto the house of Elohim, which the Levite that kept the doors had gathered of the hand of Manasseh and Ephraim, and all the remnant of Yisrael, and all of Yehudah and Benjamin, and they returned to Jerusalem. And they put it in the hand of the workmen that had the oversight of the house of Yahweh. And they gave it to the workmen that wrought the house of Yahweh to repair and amend the house. So now this is like a deposit. This is the down payment. Y'all are here. You're in charge of this. Let's fix up the house of Yahweh. You got it? Let's go a little further. Even the artificers and the builders gave they it to buy hewn stone and timber for couplings and floors of the houses which the king of Yehudah had destroyed. And the men did the work faithfully. And the overseers of them were Yahath and Obadiah, the Levite of the sons of Merari, and Zechariah and Malshulam, the sons of the Kohathites, to set it forward. And the others, the Levites, and all that could skill of instruments of music. Now, y'all listening to this. And also they that were over the bearers of the burdens were overseers of all that wrought the work in any manner of the service, and of the Levite were there scribes and officers and porters. And when they brought out the money that was brought into the house of Yahweh, Hilkiah the priest found a book of the law of Yahweh given by Moshe. Isn't this beautiful? They in there getting ready to repair the house of Yahweh, getting ready to do some things, and he down there, he found the Torah. Now, this is the beauty of this. Yisrael knew the way as best they could, verbally, orally, or what have you. Wasn't no whole lot of print and press, wasn't no Kinko's or ink copy stenographers and all that other staples and stuff. But here's a copy of the Torah. This is where the story switches and gets beautiful. And Hilkiah answered and said unto Shaphan the scribe, I have found the book of the law in the house of Yahweh. And Hilkiah delivered the book to Shaphan. And Shaphan carried the book to the king and brought the king word back again, saying, all that was committed to the servants, they do. And they have gathered together the money that was found in the house of Yahweh, and they delivered it into the hands of the overseers and to the hands of the workmen. Then Shaphan the scribe told the king, saying, Hilkiah the priest hath given me a book. And Shaphan read it before the king. And it came to pass, when the king had heard the words of the law, that he tore his clothes. And the king commanded Hilkiah and Ahikam the son of Shaphan, and Abdon the son of Micaiah, and Shaphan the scribe, and Asaiah the servant of the kings, saying, go, inquire of Yahweh for me, and for them that are left in Yisrael and in Yehudah, concerning the words of the book that is found. For great is the wrath of Yahweh that is poured out upon us, because our fathers have not kept the word of Yahweh to do after all that is written in the book. Isn't that beautiful? They took it to the king. And when the king listened as it was being read to him, he said, that's why the judgment of Yahweh is upon us, because we have not kept the words. We haven't done what he told us to do. And Hilkiah and they that the king had appointed went to Huldah the prophetess. Check this out now. The wife of Shallum, the son of Tikbath, the son of Hashriah, the keeper of the wardrobe. Now she dwelt in Jerusalem in the college, and they spoke to her to that effect. And she answered them, thus saith Yahweh Elohim of Yisrael, tell ye the man that sent you unto me, thus saith Yahweh, behold, I will bring evil upon this place, and upon the inhabitants of it, even all the curses that are written in the book, which they have read before the king of Yehudah. The king of Yehudah was who? Josiah. So remember, they went to Huldah the prophetess to get an understanding of what was going on. Without overspeaking the men, she talked back to them, let them know, go tell the king. Yahweh says, I am going to bring judgment upon the place. I'm going to pay Israel for having not obeyed, because they have forsaken me and have burned incense unto other mighty ones. They had that they might provoke me to anger. In other words, you tested me to see if I'm going to get mad with you. Okay, you got me. I'm mad now. And with all the works of their hands, therefore my wrath shall be poured out upon this place and shall not be quenched. And as for the king of Yahudah, who sent you to inquire of Yahweh, so shall you say unto him, Thus saith Yahweh Yahweh Elohim concerning the words which thou hast heard. Because thine heart was tender, and thou didst humble thyself before Yahweh, when thou heardst his word against this place, and against the inhabitants thereof, and humbled thyself before me, and did tear your clothes, and weep before me, I have even heard you also, saith Yahweh. Isn't that beautiful? To have somebody that knows enough to humble themselves and pray on behalf of others who are so ignorant that they don't even know. Yahweh said, I'll have mercy on you. Listen to this. This is so beautiful. And I will gather thee to thy fathers, and thou shalt be gathered to the grave in peace. Neither shall thine eyes see all the evil that I will bring upon this place and upon the inhabitants of the same. So they brought the king word again. Then the king sent and gathered together all the elders of Yahudah and Jerusalem. Let me stop real quick. See how I told you all earlier that just before Yahweh does the certain things that he's going to do in the judgment, he always moves those elders out of the way. Nobody want to hear him. They ain't listening to him. The different things that take place. In our ignorance, we rebel on them and treat old people like they're nothing. Look at what Yahweh told him. You'll go to your grave and you'll go in peace. I will not allow you to see this. But what Yisrael has done to me, I will not let it go. Isn't that serious? So in Josiah's days, Yahweh had mercy while Josiah was making the reforms. But just before the cleansing process, and he fell off the scene, judgment had to come because Yisrael got so stank. That's why I get on us about our attitudes and our minds. You cannot be so evil and mean-spirited and unforgiving towards each other, because if you think you are a beautiful child of Yahweh, then the one next to you, the one in front of you, the one behind you, the one beside you, they are the same as you. We got to know how to have some mercy. And the king went up unto the house of Yahweh, and all the men of Yahudah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and the priests, and Levi, and all the people, great and small. And he read in their ears all the words of the book of the covenant that was found in the house of Yahweh. And the king stood in his place and made a covenant before Yahweh to walk after Yahweh and keep his commandments and his testimonies and his statutes half-heartedly, with all his heart, with a little bit of his soul, and to perform the words of the covenant which are written in this book. This is the most beautiful thing he did. And he caused all that were present in Jerusalem and Benjamin to stand to it. And the inhabitants of Jerusalem did according to the covenant of Yahweh Elohim of their fathers. And Josiah took away all the abominations out of the countries that pertain to the children of Yisrael, and made all that were present in Israel to serve, even to serve Yahweh their Elohim all his days. And they departed not from following Yahweh, the Elohim of their fathers. Isn't that beautiful? He cleansed it. If you go into the next chapter, right after he did all of that, Passover came around. Prepared the people to obey, to keep the commandments of Yahweh. The poor little children of Israel, man, you have to pray for understanding of things and the way Yahweh's moving, because Yahweh reminds us all that my ways are not your ways, neither are my thoughts your thoughts. His ways are higher than our ways. They are above us. I'm telling y'all, man, I went and stood and talked with my little Hebrew Israelite brother the other day, man. I couldn't get a word in because everything I said, he was trying to teach me all the stuff that he had learned and all the stuff you know. I couldn't get a word across to him, and I wasn't feeling the least bit disrespected, because I understood that that type of spirit where you think you know and those that have preceded you don't know, that's where you all gonna get in trouble. Because if y'all would start calling today and pulling the elders up off the scene, this young generation of men that wanted to preach, wanted to teach, all tatted up, all marked up, fornicators, babies all over the city, everywhere, all this stuff. I saw a little Hebrew brother, again, I'm back on your ass again this week. I saw it on your channel where you put it up there. Okay, y'all, no weed and no drink all week. Let me see if I can pull this off. Your ass is a young junkie already, and you think you Kodesh. That's what we dealing with. And don't nobody want to say, see, young men like that, I'll tell you straight out the gate, y'all need them old whoopings from the 70s with them old heads just straight hit you in your mouth, knock you straight on your butt. and let somebody know, wake them up. When he wake up, tell them what happened. Y'all don't know that this is what Yahweh's doing for us as a people. He's not playing with America, but he ain't playing with Yisrael either. We are not seeing it. The people that took us out of our land, the initial Philistines, gave our fathers the blues, gave them hell. You sitting up looking at it on the news. Oh, man, isn't that sorry? Man, they're going to run the Palestinians up out of Gaza. They're going to do, well, they don't belong there no way. It ain't like taking the land, I'm going to just give it all to the Jews. That could very well be their plan. We don't give a damn. We know that even they got to go. So how's Yahweh playing for them working out? They got to get up and give it up too. Want to listen to rappers? Okay, Tupac rapped about it. Tupac said, and all you brothers that's living it up, one day or another, you'll be giving it up. And then you may give up Yahweh's land in the same manner. Oh, that caught everybody attention. John got bars. No, that was Tupac. However you can get it across to young people now, you got to get it. They got to catch it. They got to come to understand it. But we sitting here not knowing. So the only way we can learn was at the damn Super Bowl halftime show. Well, that means we ain't going to learn nothing again until next year. Damn, I wish they'd have thought of that when I was in school. Send me to school once a year. Whatever my lesson is, I'll get it every January. I'd have loved that. Go to school one day out the year. We can play hooky for 11 months. That was great. Oh, man. So, as you can see, the confusion in Yisrael was only abated because of the humility of the king. Let's go to Psalm 32:5. I want y'all to hear something. Something so beautiful took place. Poor little people and all the stuff that went on, man. I've been reading up on King David lately and looking at the stuff that David, Saul, and a lot of the kings that went through after them. And I was looking at the numbers of the kings, like 33 or 34 in Yisrael, and I forget how many was in Judah, and how they were doing wrong. And most of the kings in Yisrael did wrong because Yisrael wanted to be like the world. So we had this high number of kings that tried to be worldly in their affairs, but the kings of Yehuda tried to stick strictly with the law and function a little better because they were the royalty and the lineage through which Yahshua would come. So can you imagine just striving to get it right, still getting it wrong, but yet striving to get it right and getting credit for having strived? This is what we're doing now, whether we want to admit it or not. It's like college. You're getting credits. You're getting points for trying to get the thing right. Your GPA might not be where you want it, but it's good enough to be acceptable and passing. It's good, but it ain't excellent. This is what Yisrael is going through right now. We don't see it this way because we really don't know. We didn't even pay attention in schools. We didn't pay attention in the land. We didn't pay attention in the temple. Nowhere did we pay any attention. So now, watch David's confusion and how his sin is forgiven. But as his sin is forgiven, I want you to watch the promise of Yahweh's instruction, but only upon repentance. Listen to how this goes. Psalm 32:5. I acknowledge my sin unto you, and mine iniquity have I not hid. I said, I will confess my transgressions unto Yahweh, and thou forgavest the iniquity of my sin. Look at the verse, Yisrael. He says, I said, I will confess my transgressions unto Yahweh, and you forgavest the iniquity of my sin. For this shall everyone that is righteous pray unto thee in a time when thou mayest be found. For what? Let me read it again. For this shall everyone that is righteous pray. What are you praying for? For the forgiveness of the iniquity of your sin, that you might receive the salvation. This is why he said, for this shall everyone that is righteous pray unto thee in a time when thou mayest be found. Why wait till the trial hit when Yahweh has withdrawn himself? Look how Josiah prayed for forgiveness of keeping the law. Yahweh says, okay, you know what? You are really trying to do this thing right. I ain't going to bring this down in your lifetime. I just love the fact that you're trying to do it. I'm going to spare your life. I'm going to let you make the reforms. I'll let you go to the grave in peace. You will not see it. But since they did it, and you are making everybody walk in the law, I'm going to have mercy on you. Come on, man. Everybody in that generation got that mercy because of that one little king. That is so beautiful. That one little man stood up and decided to do it the right way and made the nation do it the right way and spared those that were alive. But those who referred back to it in the next generation, Yahweh kept his word and it did come. Our fathers were told that they would go into captivity, and then many of them died and didn't live to see it. Well, guess who in captivity? Us. So now if we take the Josiah reform and look at it in our own heart and mind, and each of us take the Josiah pledge in our home, in our lifetime, then what does Dawid say? I said, I will confess my transgressions unto Yahweh, and you forgave the iniquity of my sin. This is what every one of us shall pray for unto you in a time when you may be found. This is what David's telling you. This is what we have to pray. Pray for the forgiveness of your sin. You ever had somebody tell you, I'll forgive you, but I ain't going to forget it? Now, more often in life, this is what we mean when we say that. Verbally, I'm going to forgive you. But in reality, I'm holding this sword and you get it any given time. That's really what we mean. Now, if we humbly say, I'll forgive you and I'll try my best to forget it, you're going on a better road. Because sometimes some stuff you really can't forget. Sometimes I have to bring up stuff that I've gone through or seen and not harboring it in a way where I'm mad or angry about it. But sometimes you have to bring it up because you have not forgotten it. And then you learn a lesson from it. See what I'm saying? See, ain't nothing worse than when you're in trouble and then you look up and all your so-called help is gone. You ain't got no help. You're like, well, damn, I came out here with all this heart and was pumped up and ready to do whatever I got to do. But now I ain't even got no help. Okay, you still might have the heart to go forward in the battle, but if you going up against 1,000 and Yahweh ain't say you gonna win, and yet your 100 ran off, you like one against 1,000. Now you really need reinforced faith in Yahweh, because what did it say? How should one chase 1,000 and two put 10,000 to flight? Well, we don't pay attention because we just read the book in English. And that's what I was trying to get the young brother to understand just yesterday. All I was trying to say was, brother, some things you say in the English language, the weight, the power, and the spirit behind it can't take the effect that it should take because you're calling on the wrong one. I kept using the name Yahweh, kept trying to get him to understand. Stop talking about the Lord your God, because the Lord your God ain't Yahweh, the Elohim of Yisrael. Though you are Yisrael, and though you trying and think you're a warrior, and though you fighting, you need the full power of Yahweh and his son Yahshua. Don't just acknowledge it when you're in my presence. Declare that name at all times. And because I couldn't get that point across, because he thought we were equal, I ain't saying another word. Maybe we are equal, dear brother. But I know what little that I do know. So Dawid said, for this shall everyone pray that is righteous, in a time when thou mayest be found. Surely in the floods of great waters, they shall not come nigh unto him. Meaning, when all the nations rise up, run their mouth and going after you, vigilantism, however they do it, fighting spiritually, social, on the airwaves, social media, however them great floods rise up, they can't come near you. Why? Because Yahweh is your protector. Listen, David is still talking. Thou art my hiding place. Thou shalt preserve me from trouble. Thou shalt compass me about with songs of deliverance. Remember earlier we read it, how the young men, they stopped playing the music. They ceased from the music. We don't rejoice in Yahweh delivering us anymore because the young men don't know how to pray. They don't believe that they need prayer until so much pressure get on your young ass. Then you ain't got no choice but to cry. And sometimes that's what some of us need in order to wake us up. You hear me? You don't need nobody feeling sorry for you. Sometimes you need that good old whooping straight from Yahweh in order to get you to see. If I called you and chose you, you got to do what I say do. You do what the community leaders say do. You do what the police say do. You do sometimes what the school teachers say do. You do what the doctors say do. But what Yahweh said do that leads to everlasting life, that's the thing we always fight to reject. We got to do better. Do we or do we not? We got to do better. Verse 8, you got to pay attention to how Yahweh talks back to Dawid in the middle of his statement. Here he says, I will instruct thee and teach thee in the way which thou shalt go. I will guide thee with mine eye. Isn't that beautiful? That's acceptance there. I will guide you with mine eye. And you don't get no better vision than you seeing things the way Yahweh wants you to see it. You looking at it from your own perspective. No, we got to shut the hell up and see this thing the way Yahweh wants us to see it. But be ye not as the horse or as the mule, which have no understanding, whose mouth must be held in with bit and bridle, lest they come nigh unto thee. You know what that means? Yahweh make you stubborn as a mule, stubborn as a horse. That's why I say don't be like them. They need to be guided by you. They need something put in their mouths to turn their head the direction you want them to go. Don't you as a human be like that unless you stay stubborn and I put that type of spirit on you. You tell me that ain't what we are today? How they bring us in the courthouses, shackled and chained. And some of us get in the courthouse, cuss the judges out and everything else. You see that one they had him in the court, what they put on his mouth? A muzzle, duct tape, and all this other stuff. We rebel, get in the courthouse, throw chairs at the judges and everything. I don't really give a damn. But they get in and throw chairs and all that stuff at them. Why you ain't throw all that at the devil when you was free? You could have did the same thing. Many sorrows shall be to the wicked, but he that trusteth in Yahweh, mercy shall compass him about. See how Josiah trusted in Yahweh? And Yahweh's mercy extended to that man, went to the grave. Come on, man. You think he ain't getting up? You think he ain't going to get up and be in that kingdom age, man? Come on, man. How many of us can guarantee right now, I know I'm going to make it. I know I'm going to be in. No, we better not dare talk like that. Here's somebody that had to live it and had to go to the grave in peace. Yisrael, what I've learned inside of the last year better, you got to be so careful dealing with people because I see a way in which Yahweh is waking up so many of his people, so many of Yisrael that are asleep, that are awakened, so many that Yahweh is waking them up in ways that we have never saw or understood. And he just, that's one of mine, that's one of mine, that's this one, that's that one. So many letters and calls have we received. We here just preaching, doing the little work that we can do as best we can. But so many calls and letters that we received and texts, how people said that they had did one thing, prayed, that Yahweh bless them to somewhere or lead them to a shepherd or somebody teaching the truth or laboring in the word. So many times have people said, and next thing I know, y'all channel popped up. They use the same word. They keep saying, popped up. Come on, Yisrael. We ain't going to stand here and say we know better than anybody else. People, wherever they are, preaching in the name of Yahweh, then blessed be the name of Yahweh that he may continue to be with them. Righting us where we're wrong, righting them where they're wrong. Strengthen us, encourage us, build us up, bring us all together. But this thing right now that we're doing in this generation, it's so sad because nobody can instruct us. Sometimes Yahweh bless people and give them such extraordinary talents, such extraordinary capabilities. That is so heartbreaking because with all of that knowledge comes the added weight of understanding it and then translating this across to you in a Shabbat service or in a Thursday broadcast or to get people to see and understand. It's a tremendous amount of weight. And sometimes you ain't got nothing to do but get out and get away where you can go sit, pray, and meditate or think, or talk to Yahweh. Whew. Because the weight of it, man, it ain't easy. Hosea chapter 2. I'm almost done. Watch Hosea chapter 2. And watch and see if you don't see all the modern day social conditions we face be spoken of right in this chapter. We don't look at Yahweh's word like we ought to. You got everybody a teacher today. Everybody, Yahweh didn't make everybody a teacher, man. I'm telling you what I know. Say unto your brethren, Ami, and to your sister, Ruhama. Ami means my people. Say to the sisters, Ruhama, meaning my people, having obtained pity. That's what that means. Plead with your mother. Plead, for she is not my wife, neither am I her husband. Let her therefore put away her whoredoms out of her sight and her adulteries from between her breasts, lest I strip her naked and set her as in the day that she was born, and make her as a wilderness, and set her like a dry land, and slay her with thirst. Yisrael, listen to this, listen to this, listen to this. What touches the heart and the mind of a people where all that they feel it, they pour it into song and dance, and they perform it, trying to tell you what they feel in poetically, musically, theatrically, however. And they're hurting as they sing and perform to you because we've gotten so far from the word of Yahweh, yet that spiritual chain is so on us, we still can't let it go. I talked about Teddy Pendergrass. I think I need to talk to you also about Philip Bailey. Lest I strip her naked and set her as in the day that she was born, and make her as a wilderness, and set her like a dry land, and slay her with thirst. I will not have mercy upon her children, for they be the children of whoredoms. Back up. Verse 2. What did he say? Let her put away her whoredoms out of her sight, and her adulteries from between her breasts. All of the men, now they use the term for women too. They out in the club, right? Looking for a husband. He looking for a girl. All this, whatever. What they call them? What's the word they call them? They're on social media. They're chasing you, hunting you down. There's a word they use. Thank you. Thirsty. So a man sang a song. Let me see if I got this straight. He said, I thirst, but never quench, because I know the consequence, feeling as I do. What is that? It's Earth, Wind, and Fire. It's Philip Bailey. We write a song. Pay attention. You think your people ain't pouring out their heart, crying? I won't knock Kendrick down for pouring out his heart and crying, but there's only one way around all of this. Writing it and singing it in R&B still don't heal nobody. Every now and then, Yahweh bless some idiot to open their eyes and understanding and catch what you were crying about. Teddy sang about the gift of life. Patty sang about I love, need, and want you. All of this stuff, okay? The whinings. I'm lost without you. That wasn't R&B. That was supposed to be gospel. Supposed to be about the Most High. Our people pouring out their heart. But yet here's Yahweh's word pouring it out to us, and we still don't catch it. What did he say in the lamentation? The young men, they ceased from their music and they're not even musical enough anymore. They have no motivation, nothing motivate. You know, rap music motivate people. Fathers hear all that rapping and stuff and want to kill and shoot and all this stuff. Tell me that the murder rate ain't increased as that stuff went up. So then love songs and all these Lenny, what's his name? Lenny Williams. Steve Harvey told them people, a lot of y'all was born off this record. Because our people crying out. The real love song is between Yahweh and Yisrael. So we still miss this because now we thirsty. We thirsting after the devil. Let's go into this chapter here. Man, I just thought about that. And I was like, listen to how these people started off. Religious people. They come up out of the church. The devil say, hey, sing that song again. I'll make you rich. Now look, we're going to get that spin off of it. It ain't going to be so spiritual now. We're going to make this R&B. Our people needed help like never before. One of the biggest homosexuals in the music industry had the audacity to be a Hebrew Israelite. Needed help, struggling with that kind of spirit. And I think you all know who I'm talking about. Bingo, Little Richard. Yahweh says, and I will not have mercy upon her children, for they be the children of whoredoms. See how we just went so far off, our children can't connect no more. So Yahweh said, I ain't having mercy on them or that generation. For their mother have played the harlot. She that conceived them have done shamefully. For she said, I'll go after my lovers that give me my bread, my water, my wool, my flax, my oil, and my drink. And then what the soror sisters do today? And then what Annie Lennox and Aretha Franklin sang about? Sisters are doing it for themselves. Come on, Yisrael. We don't want to admit that the things that we've done have been called out in Yahweh's word. So we just don't pay it any attention. Real quick. The term used, lovers, in this passage refers to the pagan idols that Yisrael worshiped. Israel trusted in these idols for prosperity. The Baals, or the lords, were weather gods that supposedly controlled agricultural prosperity. Thus, when Elijah called forth the drought, it was effectively demonstrated their powerlessness as their inability to send fire from heaven in a showdown at Mount Carmel. Fertility was thereby thought to be affected by many idolatrous practices, such as weeping for Tammuz would cause pregnancy, and engaging in cult prostitution. That's what the fraternities and things do, all of the dancing and lesbianism and the stuff that they do. Look at it, engaging in cultic prostitutions. These kinds of practices have crept in even into the temple observances. This way you get your praise dances and worship, all this stuff. Sit your ass down. Sexing and gyrating and all of that in the temple. Where did you find that? And when they danced and rejoiced before Yahweh, it was not like they do this today. Don't nobody tell us that. No damn creative dance and all this praise dance. Yeah, really? For their mother played the harlot. She that conceived them have done shamefully. For she said, I will go after my lovers that give me my bread, my water, my wool, my flax, my oil, and my drink. And then what they do today, I don't need no man. I'll get my degree. I'll make my money. I'll do this. Then they all got deceived on the same level. I'll come back and I'll have my children later at 30, 35, at 40. Then you set these high demand. I want a high income, high value man, high this, that, and the highest valued man and woman in this earth are commandment keepers. You're high value. Only problem now, when we disobey Almighty Yahweh, you're low value. And just like the kings and queens of the earth don't want their children marrying the commoners and the peasants, Yahweh has in ways that we don't understand. Bless some of you as his children, where he will not allow you to be married by some of these common, no good sinners in the land. I'm just telling y'all the truth. Therefore, behold, I will hedge up thy way with thorns, meaning I'll put such social conditions around you, social problems, marital problems, income, status, housing. I'll put so much on you. I will hedge up your way with thorns and make a wall that she shall not find her paths. Why do you think we always around fussing and fighting about stuff? ESG, DEI, all this other stuff. How many years do it take a nation of people to do right by somebody? You understand? How long does it take to do right? I was leaving a job site one day. Brother, he thought it was funny. We were able to laugh it off, although it really hurt me to have done that. But I was, truck had big suspension lift, big tires and everything on. Brother had a little small sports car, and he parked real close to me. So when I came up from this way, I got in the driver's side, and I never really could see the car sitting next to me so low down. So when I put the truck in gear and went to pull out and turn a little bit, truck went up, tipped over. And I was like, what the world going on? I looked. I was running over the man's car. So I run over his bumper and on. I backed up. I was late. It was a Thursday. I was supposed to go to the broadcast, what have you. Now, he and I worked together for the last 20-some years. So we're very close. And the female working the job, truck driver, she was sitting across from me, like where brothers are sitting at the back wall now. She was sitting across from me. She in the truck just laughing up a storm. So when I backed up and I got out and I looked and I saw what happened, as well as I knew whose car it was, I went straight to her and I said, do me a favor. Go down and tell so-and-so that I ran over his car, and I'll see him when I get back. He'll know what to do. And he knew what to do. When he came and saw it, he like, man, he done gone crazy. Boy, him in this monster truck. And when I came back, he said, man, you need to go down to Civic Center to the monster truck show, man, and stop doing what you're doing. So we had a good laugh about it. And I simply said, call and get offended. Call the dealer and get offended. He said, man, we ain't spending all that money on no fender like that. Man, the way me and you roll, the way you done this and that for me over the years, man, come on, we're going to get a used bumper, put it on there and keep it moving. Save that money. That's what he said. That's what he said. Whereas I told him, because it was a BMW sports car, I told him, call the dealer and see what they charge for the bumper. I was going to pay it. He called and did whatever he did. And the next day he said, oh, man, that bumper was about $300. This, that, and that, man. I pay it when you're ready to pay it. I paid him on the spot because I said, I'll pay it in the morning. I kept it. I learned to keep my word. My point here is that we have to be able to do one another that way and keep all of that, because the social conditions in our lives got us up under so much pressure, so much stress. We don't regard each other to do nothing in the law. Yahweh's law teaches to do right by one another, to make it good. We do one another wrong, you got to do right immediately. Not postponing it, immediately. And that's what we as a people have to learn how to do. This is why Yahweh got on us, because we won't do right. Look at this. And she shall follow after lovers, but she shall not overtake them. She shall seek them and shall not find them. She shall then say, I will go and return to my first husband, for then was it better with me than now. Isn't that us? Cheated on Yahweh, ran to the white man, wanted all this stuff, college education, give us everything. We got all of that now. Now, sisters, don't y'all get mad at me, but tell me if this is the truth, though. Because they saying it on social media. Tell me if this is the truth or not. Permission. Can I ask? Is it really hard for women to apologize? Okay, just checking. I apologize. Okay, she did. All right, so that, all right, there it is. Sister, you wrong, you married, whatever, and somebody come in the house, there you go. Boop, need a bacon. Says it all. Listen, this is why I asked, because when we look at the social conditions under which we live, a lot of it now, it is worldly things, thinking, constructs that we have picked up in society. And this ain't just on the sisters, this is on us as men and women. We have all picked up things that are so satanic, we can't bring ourselves to Yahweh in a manner without really like that. We got to repent. We got to turn from it and go. I'm bringing these out because these social conditions, Yahweh here is comparing the behavior, the mannerism of the nation to that of a harlot, okay? This is not a put down on women or anything of that nature. This is a comparative analysis of how Yahweh said we acted as a nation. Let's get this straight. After having messed it up, she says, I will return to my first husband, for then was it better with me than now. So the boyfriend, right? The Lord, Allah, the college degree, what else? The club, the condo, the oil, the wine, these things didn't satisfy us. So now let me go back to him. For she did not know that I gave her her grain, her wine, and her oil, and multiplied her silver and gold, which they prepared for Baal. See how it worked out? All the gains that we got from the 60s, the 70s, the college degrees or whatever, all the supposed gains that we got, we did not know. Yahweh gave it to us. He blessed us with it. You got a decent job right now, a roof over your head. I don't care how you scrambling and struggling. Yahweh, he gave it to us. We have so much, especially here in America. They think that I don't know why the nations think that, but almost all the nations around the world think that the black people here in America got it so good. I don't know why. Everybody think we got it. Send me 2,000 American dollars. Send you 2,000 American dollars. How about? Yeah, that's a true story. Send it to me. I'm sending it to you. Who's sending it to me? We have to, and this is something we strive to be big on here. You do just what the king did in Israel. The little resource, little bitty temple like this. People look at a little building like this, man, they look down on us. They straight look down on us. They look straight down. They expect you to be in some big cathedral and the word going forward, 40 ushers in each aisle, and the people with the little white glove. You know what they do with the white glove. They getting the money. You know how that started, right? The slaves, they didn't want us handling the money, so they made us put on white gloves. So years later, you come up in church with grandma, and grandma told, sit right there, baby, I'll be back, sit right there. And grandma put them little white gloves on. They would come down that aisle singing. It's the tradition of slavery. They kept it on. They didn't want us to touch the faces of dirty slave masters, I guess. I don't know what they figured. We're going to tear them up or something. I don't know. But anyway, that's how stuff like that happened. We as Yahweh's people today, especially in the latter days, we don't consider stuff like this because our minds are just so flighty. It's so difficult to get stuff across to us. So he says, therefore, will I return and take away my grain in the time thereof, and my wine in the season thereof, and will recover my wool and my flax given to cover her nakedness. And now will I discover her lewdness in the sight of her lovers, and none shall deliver her out of mine hand. I mentioned the nakedness and all other stuff the other day. That little fat, pudgy woman got on that radio station behind me. She called herself ripping me a new one. And the girls were clad. They were dressed. They were clothed. That wasn't even what I said as far as Kendrick Lamar. I was mentioning how we are stripped naked generally. But see, when you're trying to protect it and defend it, I don't give a damn how old you are. You showing your nakedness because, see, you don't know Yahweh. So I said, okay, I ain't coming in the studio no more like the little usher with no white gloves. I'm going to tear the fur off of anything on talk radio running their mouth from here on out because that's just a damn disgrace. An older woman, you don't know how to teach the younger women. Woman like that, I'll invite her here just so you all get a chance to see it. Look at her. Just look. Because, see, that's how people like that are. Men, they the same way. I am not impressed because you drive a big Mercedes 560 or whatever it is, and then when they come, this is what they do to me. I mean, I'm down there in the truck. Now, I be saying, y'all better quit playing me. I got big tires. I'll run your Mercedes over. But they park all close up on me. I'm like, oh, y'all call yourself getting real disrespectful. Box me in. See what I do. Sorry. Hey. Anyway, that's what they do. Clothes, diamond rings, want to be showing off. Where the hell, Elder Johnson? Where am I going that I need diamond rings, $10,000 Rolexes or whatever they cost, Gators? Where am I going where I need to be wearing that? Give me any event from Sunday to Shabbat where I'm going where I need to dress like that. Big fur coat, my big squirrel skin or muskrat, whatever it is. Exactly. Not one list. They don't hear your big fur coat. You know what I'm gonna do though? I'm not playing. I'm going to war. I'm gonna start shooting pictures. I'm gonna put them up on social media. When he get out that car looking like a little muskrat, I'm posting it. I ain't playing no more because they are disrespecting the word of Yahweh in ways now where you got to come out swinging on stuff like that. It's just sad now. Whole city ready to get unified and come together in what we were all trying to say. And the think tank gave me permission to attend this meeting coming up next Thursday. They gave me permission to simply sit down. I don't want to talk. I don't want to speak. I said, I will come. I just want to sit in and just observe. And they said, brother, you have earned that right. And that's why I keep saying on social media, I think I have earned the right to hide in plain sight. I ain't scared. I ain't running. Yahweh gave me plenty of help. But sometimes you want to stop and observe and regroup and get a grip on things and know what to focus on or what to hit. Because sometimes in the midst of the crowd, it ain't punching with everybody. Sometimes you got to punch one thing to stop all of it. And I thank Yahweh that those brothers in the think tank, man, and brother Wiggins, Baba Issa, brother Vincent, brother Maurice, Eddie, Gus, others, I thank Yahweh for little men like them. Because a lot of times, I'm dead serious, y'all. Hebrews around the country, we want to be seen, we want to be heard. But when it's time to get together on stuff where everybody's sitting at the table and everybody's equal, we don't want that. We want to be the one where we're always standing and I'm the leader, I'm the one, I'm in charge. No, sometimes the one that's in charge needs to be the one to sit down and hear the most. because you can help out the most. If you're the last one leaving the building, you swept the floor after everybody left. You turned out all the lights. You readjusted the heat. You did things like that are so helpful. Think y'all come in this little assembly and sit down sometime, man, and chairs are so neat and organized. Who does that? Nobody sees the people behind the scenes that does that. You come here and open the door, and the scent of the cleaning solution come and meet you at the front door and just wrap his loving arms around you because somebody came and cleansed. Y'all got to see that and experience it the way I do. But don't nobody see little people like that. Everybody want to be that one person out front. The one person that's out front, we forget that even in the flesh, he had a moment where he was hit with such hardcore doubt and pain that even he too, in the flesh, thought that Yahweh had forsaken him. Isn't that so beautiful? In tears, he cried out and said, Mael, why hast thou forsaken me? Can you understand the pain and the humiliation at that precise moment where the flesh was literally given up? And yet his spirit was willing. See, people don't, Malcolm X lived possibly just another 2 years, in knowing what I've studied about his life, and believe me, I've studied it, another 2 years, Malcolm probably would have come to the knowledge of the sacred name, because his studies and his trouble was just that deep and just that intense. Imagine somebody firebombing your house at 2:30 in the morning, and you got to get up and grab your wife and children. The only thing you can grab is a suit. You put that on. Didn't he have a pair of socks on? And you give one of the most important speeches of your life, explaining to your people how there is something on the planet that's killing us, and it has power beyond anything we recognize. Only to tell people 60 years later, and you got a bunch of faggot priests and a dyke, no good woman or whatever, downplaying the significance of it, while that same beast is making a global system, putting it all in place to mark and tag everybody, while y'all sit up and deny that it's happening. Come on, Yisrael. All those prophets and messengers of Yahweh, where in this universe does pain go after it has done its job? You ever thought about something that stupid? You ever stump your toe and the pain linger for a few minutes? You in such a deep agony. But as it goes, as an entity that you can never see, but it affect that body, where does that actual entity, the spirit of pain itself, where does it go after it has done its job? Because when Ezekiel got his head busted with a stone by a young man for telling the truth, where did his pain go if Yahweh couldn't take it away, even in taking his life? Where does Yahshua's pain go of having those nails driven in his hand? Where does that actual pain, where does your pain go when you can't make it and you shut the door behind you at the end of the day and all you have is Yahshua as you fall down on your knees and cry? And you get up real quick and wipe your eyes because you don't want others to see you go through pain where they just wipe their eyes 60 seconds before they confronted you. We don't think that Yahweh said in his word that the day is coming when he shall wipe away all tears from our eyes. We don't think of stuff like that, man. We play too much as men and women now. As a man, you got to know the real role and the honor of having a woman by your side, man, because you influence her in ways in anything you do. If you as a man take a wife and you're an evil man, trust me, you will manufacture in that woman an evil spirit. And as the two of you come together, you will produce nothing but a seed of evil children. This is why the works and the commandments of Almighty Yahweh have to be taken so seriously, because life in all things is just that serious. It's just that serious. Things in the universe we ain't even thinking about. Pain, think about it. Where does it go? The very breath of life, when you take your last breath, where does that last breath actually go? Where does your spirit go? Where does your soul go? Where does your mind go? And you know Yahweh, who made it all, and you can't serve him? He controls it all. This how you know people don't know Yahweh. Because when you start thinking on life, sure enough, you get so scared. You get so humble. You become so thankful. No, you don't want it all to end, because you want every chance and moment you got to really serve and praise Yahweh. Come on, man. We say we know the Most High, man. Don't you all ever, listen to me carefully, don't ever pray for any spiritual gift if you're not going to pray for the power to handle it. You hear me? Because when you pray for it and you get it, it ain't like the lights. You can't turn it on and off at your own discretion. If it's a power that Yahweh give unto you, it's there. And it has to be managed. You hear me? It has to be managed, and managed in such a way and to a degree that it only brings all the tough things, the good things that Yahweh intended for you to do with it. You hear what I'm saying? See, we think we know Yahweh. We think we can quote the script. We can quote it all day long, but some of it demands that it be broken down and explained to us as the people of Yahweh, so that as it is explained to us, it lifts us up. A messenger of Yahweh, he got a lot on his mind. And that's why I told the people of late, man, I just deal in humor, man. Sometimes some of it, you have to laugh at it, man, to keep from crying. Not that everything is funny, because I tell you what I know in Yahweh. We got a beating coming unlike anything in all the universe, because Yahweh left his whole house to us. And we sleeping on the job. So Yisrael, all those modern day trials and things like that, pay attention, because this is now where the real crying is about to begin. I got 4 scriptures. I have time to get them in. Let's go to the book of the Lamentations. We're getting up on something now. In the Lamentations, we need to be looking at how Yahweh's going to lay something out for us. I can't trust the judgment of Kendrick Lamar. I don't disrespect him or despise him, but I can't go with Kendrick right now, because you out there, you are an entertainer. You get paid for that. You got a check for that. We don't get no check for this. We're going after a payday, and our payday that we after is salvation, the gift of everlasting life. Yahweh promised that to us. Everlasting life. Again, where does the pain go? We do not know, but we know that even that he has promised that he's going to take it away. Our tears as a result of that pain. He promised that he himself personally will wipe away all tears from our eyes. My question is, do you want that? The Lamentations, chapter 5. Let's go. Five and 7. Our fathers have sinned and are not. We have borne their iniquities. Servants have ruled over us. There is none that doth deliver us out of their hand. We get our bread with the pearl of our lives, because of the sword of the wilderness. Our skin was black like an oven, because of the terrible famine. They ravished the women in Zion and the maids in the cities of Yahudah. Princes are hanged up by their hand. The faces of the elders, they did not honor them. That's how young brothers do the old men today. They have a disdain for you, and yet they need you. Can you imagine that? And you're here today as your children. You got to be careful as children. You can't have no disdain for your parents, especially because you can't cook. Especially when you don't put the food in the house. Especially when you don't pay no bill. You can't have no level of disdain for your parent. Ain't that correct? You ever see baby birds in the nest, little chicks? They'll sit there and be quiet. Mama said, be quiet, I'll be back. Mama come back, she got worms. She got to chop it up, chew a little bit, put a little bit in each of them mouth, and they make noise. As soon as mama come back, they get up and let her know, mama, we hungry. They don't look down on her until they themselves can get up out the nest. Rough thing about the nest, that nest can be up in that tree. Mama put them up out there. One thing about it, they better be ready to flap, because in many instances, they can hit that ground and they can die. One of the hardest lessons that we learned a few summers ago was parking out back and walking through that airway there, and the birds made a nest in the apartment complex next door. And every week we would come through, and another bird would go in and try to raid the nest or whatever. You see a little bitty egg on the ground. And every week we come through, you see another egg on the ground. But what was interesting about the eggs was that each week or so, the eggs were bigger and bigger. But for some reason or another, when that strange bird would go up in there and raid that nest, it would destroy those birds. And then on the final walkthrough, coming through one Shabbat, there were no more eggs. But there was a young embryo, a baby bird, that fell out of that nest and didn't make it. That bird lost all her chicks in that process of a couple weeks. And I never forgot that horrific story of reading and understanding that and looking at it and observing it and thinking, there ain't nothing in this universe that Yahweh didn't make that at the appointed time, if he chooses to grant it life again, that it grace his planet, then it is able to do so. And yet you are more valuable than all those birds. What make you think you're not his top priority? Does that make sense? You got to learn to obey Yahweh. That's why I always tell Yisrael, calm down. Everybody trying to live something, trying to keep something, trying to find something hard and technical in the book, then trying to apply that to their life. Shut up! You work at Walmart. How hard could it be? You trying to make yourself, having gone through the trials of Job, coupled with the tribulations of Jeremiah while being thrown in the fire furnace. Man, you in the frozen food section. Shut up! Pack the damn peas and serve Yahweh. Thank him for your life. You're hell trying to make it all technical, like he gave you the blueprint. You out building the second ark, and yours got to be 4 times bigger than Noah's. You ain't even got gas money for the go-kart that your baby's riding. Shut your ass up and serve Yahweh. We try to make the problems bigger than what it is. All Black America all week. It was profound. It was deep. It was just, man, it was a message. I said, well, help me out, because I'm stupid. I ain't see it. And ain't nobody explained it to me yet. Because they don't know. They don't know. They just know one thing. They not like us. You're right. You got me. Vance and all them people, they not like me. And I ain't like them. In fact, I don't like them. There, I said it. Isaiah 47. I'm not going to read the whole chapter. I'll let y'all read it. I just want you to pick up something here, dear brothers. You got to pay attention to this. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. It's Yahweh talking. There is no throne, the daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstones and grind meal. Uncover thy locks, make bare the leg. Hey, ain't that what Nicki Minaj and all of them do? Uncover the thigh. I get rebuked for telling women cover themselves up. Pass over the rivers. Now, that's a spiritual metaphor. I ain't going to talk about what the rivers are. You figure that out later. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. As for our Redeemer, Yahweh of Sabaoth is his name, the Kodesh one of Yisrael. Sit thou silent, and get thee into the darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the lady of the kingdoms. I was rough with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the elders hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. Y'all listening? This is what he put on the elder generation. Remember the retirement? People used to retire at 62, right? Work hard all their lives. 62, they could retire, lay on back, collect the pension, and die at 90. You change the food supply. You change the tax codes. You change the health code, you change the heating, the air, you change everything. You mess with everything you can think of, shorten people's lives, mess with their lifespan. You do everything, cut back the insurance, no matter what. You put pressure on old people. He said, you have no mercy upon the ancient. What's the age? What's retirement age now? 67. And they talking about bumping it to what? 70, 72. Come on. How you going? Anybody here? Who in here in the 70s? Okay, and all y'all in your 70s, real quick. Could you all run up to Valentino's, get me a sandwich, and come right back real quick? Got to do it in 5 minutes now. She can hop. And that's not disrespect, y'all. It's the fact of the honor in old age. You can't do what you did at 22, right? But we're gonna make you work up to your old age like that, knowing we have structured and messed with everything to a point, and to give your life expectancy past 70, we thanking Yahweh for each and every day that we got, because we could drop at any given time the way you've done things to us as a people. Pay attention, young folk. He said here, they showed no mercy to the ancients, right? And thou hast said, I should be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thine heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Therefore now hear this, thou that art given to pledges, and dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come upon you in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. It's coming on this nation. What's the fundamental sign? You showed no mercy to the elders. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else is beside me. Therefore shall evil come upon you, and you shall not know from whence it rises, and mischief shall fall upon you, and you shall not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Stand now in thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. You get it? You went at the elders. I'm going to bring this down on you. This is what you did from your age of youth. It shall be so that thou shalt be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail. Y'all be telling them, get your sorcerers, get your astrologers, get your, what's all of that stuff, your tarot card readers, get them all. Because now I'm going to pay you for what you did to my people. Notice, Yahweh said he was rough with his people because we sinned. But he let them do whatever they wanted to do, and they left off with no mercy, even to the elderly. Cut the food programs and all of the different things, Medicaid, all the stuff that elderly people would need. You cut these things. You did these things. What does he say? You are wearied in the multitude of your counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators, let them stand up to save you from these things that shall come upon you. Behold, they shall be as stubble, and fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to stand and warm at, nor fire to sit before. They shall be unto thee with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth. They shall wander, every one to his quarter. None shall save you. You get that, Yisrael? You did your dirt, but at the appointed time, when we look up and see you falling, we got to get up out of here. We're going to our own home. Going to your quarters. You won't even say that. See, this is why we keep trying to tell people, stop trying to save everybody. You cannot save everybody. Everybody want every family member saved. And that family member stand up, hate Yahweh, hate you, go at you, fight you. Now all of a sudden, you know Yahweh's mercy. You're so merciful now. You going to save them anyway. When we going to quit that? I'm dead serious, Israel. When y'all going to quit that? Now, might as well say it because I know somebody going to do it. I was getting ready to say, don't call me crying and complaining about cousin Boo-Boo or whoever because they won't keep the Torah and they won't keep the Shabbat. You living in their house. If they choose to burn the damn thing down in honor of the Lord, you get your stuff and flee. But don't try to keep saving them, and then you want to call me, I want them saved. What if Yahweh don't? What if he contemplating whether or not to take you or me? That's the opening phase of collapse. I got 2 scriptures. Let's go back to the Lamentations, chapter 4. See, we just don't pay attention. And you know why we don't pay attention? Because when somebody talking to us, we think we know more than they know. The Lamentations, chapter 4. Poor little whole chapter asks the question of, how did the city that was gold become so dim? How was the most fine gold changed? Even the stones of the sanctuary are torn down and poured in the top of every street. You see Jerusalem today, how they built it up. That's okay, they did it. They built it in 1947, stole it, kept on going ever since. You see Palestine, all that stuff, everything over there pretty much now with Gaza Strip, just rubble. Building after building after building, just complete rubble. Now they want to go in there and build it up, America, take over, make condo. Well, you might be building up for somebody that's got to come back home. I'm only going to say what y'all will allow me to see and understand just a little bit. Pay attention, Israel. Anyway, our problem, verse 11, pardon me. Yahweh hath accomplished his fury. He hath poured out his fierce anger and have kindled a fire in Zion, and it hath devoured the foundations of it. Kings of the earth and all the inhabitants of the world would not have believed that the adversary and the enemy should have entered into the gates of Jerusalem. For the sins of her prophets and the iniquities of her priests that have shed the blood of the just in the midst of her, they have wandered as blind men in the streets. They have polluted themselves with blood, so much so that men could not touch their garments. That's Yisrael. We became killers, even in our own land. They cried unto them, depart from me. Ye, get away. It is unclean. Depart, touch not. When they fled away and wandered, they said among the heathen, there is no sojourning here. The anger of Yahweh hath divided them. He will no more regard them. They respected not the persons of the priests. They favored not the elders. So as for us, our eyes have yet failed for our vain help. In watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. You tell me that ain't us? We don't respect our elders today. We don't respect them. So all this goes down. And but one last thing for all of Yahweh's people to see and understand, because this is the only thing we got left that's coming. Revelations chapter 12, verse 3. There appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. This is the final form of it, the revived Roman Empire, them 7 nations, that very G7 with the authority to structure and reconfigure this whole earth, the way they laying the whole plan and the program out. Nobody goes and study them. Nobody knows none of the thing they do. Now watch, I'm talking about it today. Watch you see in the algorithms and all of that stuff on social media. Watch how now all of a sudden it'll come up. I'm just telling y'all, you ever been talking about stuff and near your phone, next thing you know, it pop up? Watch this. My phone near me. I'm going to say something stupid. Watch this. Now I'm going to go buy 39 packs of bubble gum later in the week, and I'm going to see how much I can chew. Now watch in the algorithm, bubble gum going to pop up later today. If it pop up in any of y'all, just let me know, all right? Or guarantee. They'll let you know they listening. See, dippers don't hear nothing good about themselves. So when you know people listen, you got to show enough pour it on, right? You know how you do. People be out with people that always gossip. You know how you be around that one that God. Don't be around no gossip. Let me tell you why. Because see, this is how gossip works. You around this gossip, their mouth always going. Soon as somebody get up and leave the table, what they do? Start talking about that person, right? But then you stuck. You don't want to leave now. You know why? Because soon you get up and leave, they start going in on you. So as a result, you sit there, you get the scoop on everybody. When you ain't a gossip, but you just didn't want to talk about it. And y'all got to break that habit. You got to do them so raw in the truth of Almighty Yahweh that they don't want to talk about it. That's how they do me. They don't even want to mention my name. And his tail drew forth the third part of the stars of heaven. The devil has help. His tail, when kicked out of the heaven, drew a third part of the heavenly host with him, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was Yisrael, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. That was his whole goal, okay? This is the beauty of it. And she brought forth a man child who was to rule all nations. I like that part. Say it with me. Who was to rule all nations. Ain't y'all glad of that? He's got to rule all the nations. Come on, man. Remember back in the day when Michael Jordan was playing basketball, jumping all around, flying 33-foot leaps and throwing whole court basketball shots? Remember that? And everybody was all happy. Imagine how his mother and father felt. Look at our son. Remember, he was in the backyard making all that damn noise, and you kept telling him, be quiet. And I said, let him go. Now look at him. They were happy because they're family member. Well, you got one who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. Now, stop for a minute. Because he ain't corrupt. He got to rule in absolute righteousness. Yahweh said that the righteousness got to run down the justice and all of it, right? The rivers of a mighty stream. It's just got to be free flowing. You don't stop no river. Anybody ever jumped out there and try to stop a river? What you do, your little body? You get blowed on down the road somewhere, right? You come out at the other end in a whole nother state. I was trying to stop it. But, where am I? They say. Anyway, he's got to rule. And we not supposed to rejoice. See, certain people on earth think you're supposed to be sad and be down at all times. No, we're happy because the king is coming. We are happy. Pardon me. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she has a place prepared of Yahweh, that she should go there, and that they should. And she have a place prepared for her of Yahweh, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. Isn't that something? That's that 3.5-year period of time that Yisrael got to deal with. And Yahweh's people here thinking that they got it made. Again, the one thing that I've learned most that Yahweh's people have to really see and understand. We just don't know how well we really have it made. You just have to calm down. Serve Yahweh. Don't be forced to serve Yahweh. Serve Yahweh with joyfulness and gladness of heart. That's the thing that leads you to salvation, right? How many here like cake, chocolate cake, coconut cake, whatever kind of cake? Most of us, right? Okay, so now imagine your favorite cake. I mean, you got to be forced to eat it. You ain't got no problem throwing down on it. It's your favorite, right? Life in Yahshua is the same way. We should not be forced to obey Yahweh, to preach that hard and that hot and heavy to make us do it. Nah, we got to really come to love Yahweh to such a point and a degree where, like our favorite cake, it's a delight to eat the word of Yahweh, to strive, to obey. Because if that's a joy to you, the joy of the kingdom to come, he said that joy, unlike this message, which has come to an end, that joy shall never end. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to exit stage left. I'm not going to close out in prayer because I want the joy of this type of message to last as long as Abba Yahweh commands that it lasts. We want to walk up in that kingdom and walk up in Jerusalem, just like the Torah commands that we will, if we have all lived and done right, so that we hear him in that day say to us, simply put, well done, Well done. He's not just going to declare something like it's just so sad. Oh, you, well done. You, well done. It is a joyful declaration when he says, well done. Enter. Come on in here. The rest prepared for you from the foundation of the world. He ain't standing there sadly receiving you and all of a sudden put that look on his face. He see you and this one made it. And he's going to receive us. So in conclusion, you receive him. Hopefully my chair is in my office where it can receive me. Yahweh Baruch you all. Shabbat Shalom.